his offense going typically on a normal night. Now, last night he was scoring right out of the gate. He had something like 14 of the team's first 24 points because he just couldn't miss. But, he plays more of that traditional point guard facilitator role when he's on the court. And the other element of him is, Cody Topper typically wants him picking up at half court and applying a lot of ball pressure on the defensive end, trying to make things difficult for the opposition to get into their sets. And I think we saw some of that hard-nosed mentality show up in terms of his ability to get on the glass and that closing play where he got the putback.
Chris, Brian's right. He is more of a traditional point guard. But you know what I like about him? His toughness.
Yeah. Well, he's more of a throwback guard because he's a penetrator first.
Yes.
More than a shooter. And in this day and age, that's rare that you see a guy that's more from a point guard spot, especially at that size, to be more of a penetrator, attack off the dribble type guy. And so that's where you get the throwback kind of traditional aspect. But his game is very fluid, is very
I think he's cerebral.
Yeah, he is.
He has no wasted motion in his game.
Motion. He's it's like quick. He has a nice quick twist to him.
Yep.
He's ambidextrous. If you watch how he finishes, watch how he passes the ball. So he's always had a lot of game. He's always had a lot of, stuff in his bag. So I think playing with better players makes him better because the court is more spaced out. He has more driving lanes, and then he also has a high IQ for the game.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
He's always been a point guard. He's always been one to be a leader. One thing I liked about him tonight was I saw him talking to AJ. I saw him talking to his teammates. I saw him talking to a couple other guys on the court where he was really trying to make sure everybody was on the same page, and that's important for a young point guard to try to command the team. And so when it comes to winning time, like it was, you're in a position to make plays. So
I agree.
You're seeing Sharif kind of develop into an NBA player, and it's good to see those kind of guards. I like seeing that style of play because
they're like antiques now.
Yeah, man. Don't try to make us instinct or anything like that. We big time point guards. What happened to the Mark Jacksons of the world?
Yeah,
played 15,
Chris Paul's
18
are
Chris Paul's,
getting older. All right, Brian Alvin, let me ask you one more guy, AJ Johnson. I thought he did some really nice things tonight. What have you seen from him down there?
Well, just real quick before I get to AJ, because, you were talking about Sharif and being cerebral. I think part of that comes from something that you both know really well, which is that he played European basketball last season. He left the G League to go overseas. He played in all of France, Greece, and Turkey last season. So he was well traveled. And, he got to absorb a lot of different elements of the game from a lot of different coaches and teaching styles. So I think that maybe also helps him out on the floor as well. Yes. But in terms of A.J. Johnson, the thing that we saw when he played with the Go-Go earlier this week on, I guess it would have been Friday, one of the tough things to do for someone as young as A.J. is you spend so much time with the Wizards and then you get an assignment with the Go-Go. And it's a totally different role, right? You go from, if you get minutes with the Wizards, maybe it being in a 4 or 5 minute stint to he's basically running the show on Friday. And I think the one area where, he showed on Friday he needed to maybe improve a little bit is just being more decisive on the basketball. The fact that he has such great athleticism, you don't want to spend time dancing with it at the top of the key. You want to just pick your move and go. And I think we saw him doing that tonight, which is a good sign of progression. And, I think these minutes for him at the NBA level after getting a heavy dose of minutes a couple days ago with the Go-Go, valuable to get that continuity of minutes.
Yeah, I agree. Chris, what do you think of AJ?
I think AJ is a really good player. I think he has to develop and understand what his tools are on the offensive end. So that simplifies the game. He still is playing, as Brian said, he's playing east-west. He's playing shifty, side to side, side to side.
You got to go north-south.
And you got to start using your shoulders, start using your leverage, start using your base, and start pivoting. Once you start to learn those different angles to get in different spots to get on the court, then his game will become more refined instead of kind of just,
you're right. And we saw it at times tonight where, one time in the first half, he came down like, a little stop and go and just exploded and got a layup.
Right.
And to me, what you're saying and how I'm thinking, and I think what Brian's saying, it's learning the when.
Yes.
When to use his athleticism.
And where.
Yeah.
and where and how you can use this all to your this would be a great game. They won this game tonight, but guys, these young guys, AJ Johnson, Jameer Watkins, Will Riley, go and study how DeMar DeRozan gets to the free throw line. He has 32 points and went on 16 shots. Go and study how Zach LaVine is able to get his shot off.
Also, look at the tape of this game.
Exactly.
And look at your turnovers.
And look what you did.
If they look at the turnovers, they go, "Oh man, I never should have dribbled into two guys," or I never, I threw a lazy pass instead of a snap pass.
Right.
That got picked off or deflected.
Exactly. And once you start doing that, once you start watching film, which I know they are doing because I see him do it.
Yes.
You start memorizing those things in the game, like, oh, no, let me not do that right here.
Right.
Because I don't want to see it on film.
That's
I don't want Coach Vanderpool to get on me about it. I don't want Keith.
And you know what that's called? That's called learning moments.
That's part of learning. That's part of experience.
It's part of growing up in the game, and they're learning that. And that's the beautiful thing about tonight, both of you guys, Brian and Chris. What we saw tonight is growth. We saw a team where, on the floor that didn't play a lot of minutes individually and even together. And they kind of came together to close this game out.
Right.
That is a wonderful thing to see. It's a learning moment.
We saw guys maximize their opportunity.
And just like Michael Winger told us in his State of Monumental Basketball address, maximizing opportunity is going to be one of the primary goals of the second half of this season, especially for some of the young Wizards players deeper in the rotation who didn't see a ton of minutes in the first half. Tonight, it resulted in a 116-112 win for the Wizards over the Kings.
The following is a special presentation of Wizards basketball on the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
And then Trey Johnson pull up three. It's there. Go do it, rookie. Cunningham off the screen, drives to the basket. Denied by Alex Sarr. Sarr said no.
The 2025-2026 Washington Wizards season is presented by Capital One, the official bank and credit card of the Washington Wizards. By Caesars Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the Washington Wizards. By Robinhood, the official brokerage and jersey patch partner of the Washington Wizards. And by Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of the Washington Wizards.
Volley cuts to his right. Right elbow roll.
Join play-by-play man Dave Johnson and color analyst Glenn Consor for the radio party.
Couple head fake, turn, shoot, scores!
Check in on X by tweeting at Dave J Sports and at Glenn Consor.
Go Wizards.
And now, here is your voice of the Washington Wizards, Dave Johnson.
Here we go. Dave Johnson, Glenn Consor, Chris Wright, Chase Hughes, Brian Albert. It's our Sunday night get-together on the radio, on the app. It's the Wizards and Sacramento Kings from Capital One Arena. A Kings team that has lost 8 straight. Their last win, it was in Sacramento against the Wizards in January. Hey, Wizards, forgettable result, we know, against the Lakers on Friday. But, a memorable Michelob Live Ultra postgame show. We were live at Fuddruckers, connecting with fans like Stephen Bowers.
So I got to give a shout-out to my captain, Anthony Gill.
Yeah.
I mean, we're down 2 centers tonight. No Bagley, no Vukovic. And we're down all those points. Who is still fighting in the end?
Arabia steals it from Riley to Bronny. Go for the slam. A foul by Anthony Gill. Ronnie James denied the slam by Anthony Gill. I almost thought I saw Anthony Gill. Yeah, he's saying review it. He's going to say review it. In a successful challenge. Washington. Anthony Gill getting all ball, blocking Ronnie James.
Yeah. So, got to give it up to Mr. Anthony Gill.
Oh, Anthony Gill is special. And Shelly Burns always brings it strong when we get together.
So I really see progress here. I really do see progress with these young players. I mean, I realize we don't have that ultimate star yet, but I'm seeing more progress this year than last year. I feel better about the team this year than I did last year. I know the wins aren't really showing yet, but I enjoy Keyshawn George's progression from last year, Alex Sarr's progression from last year, and my favorite is still Bub.
We've got potential all-stars brewing here.
I think we do. I think, with the rising stars we have, Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson, I think we have the potential for those guys to grow into maybe all-stars, but I think they're extremely valuable NBA players. But I do think they have the talent to reach the highest levels. It's just a matter of, opportunity, fit, team, personnel, coaching, and things like that. We had a nice crowd in here tonight. Good gracious.
Yeah, go ahead.
One question. What do you folks think about the Trae Young trade?
I think Trae is going to be great for this group. I think he recognizes that DC is a diamond in the rough when it comes to our basketball community. The structure of our organization right now is in a great place, and just the young assets we have. It's a very similar situation to what they had at OKC.
And season ticket holder Frank Mills has a favorite player.
I like Keyshawn.
You like Keyshawn?
Keyshawn is my man. I mean, he looks like SGA.
He does.
Like a small SGA. Yeah.
Gets to his spots like SGA.
And his dribble, I mean, everything about him is like, I just like, he just has SGA mentality. I mean, Kobe showed me a lot when he was playing. He went from the elbow, then he went out. We dumped it down to Shaq, then we went out.
All right. Good stuff from Frank. By the way, Frank, the best part of that, he may have had a Lakers jacket on, but you held that Michelob Ultra bottle so well as you were explaining things. Yeah, that was good. You were styling, Frank. We love it. We're going to do it again. Party with all of you at Fuddruckers. We'll give you the details. That's coming up in February at Fuddruckers, just steps away from Capital One Arena. More in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Dave Johnson, Glenn Costro, back with Brian Keefe, and the homestand continues tonight. The opposition, the Sacramento Kings, and something we were talking about is this Wizards team has been so competitive of late in most games, and there was a stat that now your team has now been involved in more clutch moments than all of last season. The NBA defines clutch moments, 5 minutes or less, and the game is within 5 points. Talk about how you believe and what you've seen your young team growing being in those moments.
Those moments are invaluable for our team, execution on offense and defense. And you're seeing us grow. We had a nice couple wins here, the last 10 days or so, where we were in those situations and you learn, some of them didn't work out, but then you grow. We learn how you're going to execute, the type of shots you want to get offensively, defensively, being able to get stops on command. Those things are great. Those are great experiences for us.
And again, that's significant. Already more than all of last season. Just saw this Kings team a couple weeks ago. They're going through some transition. Just your thoughts on playing them again a couple weeks later.
Yeah, they came out and got us early last game, but they put a lot of pressure on the rim. We had to be ready to defend the paint and scramble out to their shooters.
Anthony Gill comes in against the Lakers. The game was flat. In 17 minutes, he has 9 points and 10 rebounds. And watching you coach him, it seems to be a lot of joy there.
This guy is obviously just what he stands for our organization, for our team, the amount of stuff he does behind the scenes, his work ethic, like he hasn't been in the rotation. And then when his opportunity is called, he's ready. And not surprising in the least. It's just always great to see him on the court because he brings so much energy, and he obviously can bring the level up for us, so he was terrific, I thought.
Big emphasis in the shoot-around on keeping it tight, tight shell, protect the paint. Coaching against a guy like DeRozan, every year it seems like he just continues to do what he does 10 feet and in.
He's done it for a long time. He's very crafty. He's got all the footwork, the pump fakes. Be a great test for our team.
By the way, we have that Anthony Gill block on Bronny James, which you reviewed, and it was a clean block, and that's part of our pregame. Best of luck. That's Brian Keefe. More and more on the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
Are you ready for it?
Not an easy time for the Kings. 0-5 on a 6-game road trip. They've lost their last 8 games. In fact, their last win was January 16th over the Washington Wizards. The Wizards in their Capital City Edition uniform tonight. That's the gold with a black horizontal stripe, white trim, white numbers. The Kings in dark jerseys, the purple and white trim. All right, the jump center, Maxime Renaud and Marvin Bagley. Renaud wins the tip. It goes into the backcourt. The Kings will begin the proceedings tonight from Capital One Arena. Renaud, of course, the 46th overall pick in the 2025 draft, part of the French connection in the NBA. Working left to right, Renaud now left to the top. He guarded by Bagley. Now DeRozan throws back on the right wing. Down low, Renaud on the left block, turns, top of the strict guard, jump up over Bagley, off the front of the rim and in. So Maxime Renaud scores 2-0. The Kings on top. Center circle, Carrington left at top of the key. Chris Middleton
top of the arc on the dribble. Looking to break down Renaud. Shoots over him, misses the three, and the rebound brought in by the Sacramento Kings, who lead 2-0. Levine driving, gets in the strict arc, finger roll, scores. He got right to the basket. 4-0, Kings on top. 11:10 to go first quarter. Center circle now. Carrington left at the top of the key. Marvin Bagley pivots, hands off to Coulibaly. Coulibaly bounce pass, right corner, Middleton. Back out front, Coulibaly, top of the arc, 7-second shot clock. Cuts to his left, 5 on the clock. Left double, gets in the lane, his runner off the back of the eye. No, Bagley grabs the rebound, goes reverse and scores. Wow. Grabbed it on the right, finished on the left. Marvin Bagley, welcome back, as he missed 5 games with that thoracic injury. 4-2, Kings. Working left to right, driving is Clifford, finds in the left corner, open for 3, and bearing it precious. Achua makes it 7-2, proving that corner 3 is the easy shot now in the NBA. 10:24 to go first quarter. Bounce pass by Carrington to Coulibaly, slips away. A miscommunication there as he was cutting toward the foul line, but wasn't there yet, and the ball skipped away. Kings ball 7-2. Sacramento leads again. We're going to stop an 8-game losing streak and get something out of this frigid East Coast road trip. Now left the circle, Levine off a screen by Renaud. Left at the top of the East, steps back out front. On the dribble, Nick Clifford, the rookie, right wing, Achua, foul line, spins, top of the strict arc, bang, no. Rebound Carrington. Well, Achua got right there. Wizards get the rebound. Coulibaly slow by DeRozan. Right corner is Keyshawn George, and he's fouled by Zach Levine, who pushed him out of play, didn't give him enough room. 7-2, Kings. 9:52 to go first quarter. Like our good friend Cornell, hockey fan, and Adam and others, free to check in at Dave J Sports, Echo and Consor. Cornell was hoping to hear another great Alex Starr performance tonight. He's out with a calf strain. Middleton, top of the arc, left elbow. On the dribble, couple pump fakes, leans into Renaud, misses the shot, but draws the foul. 7-2 the score. So 7-2 the score. Renaud gets called for the foul, and Middleton will shoot 2 for the Wizards.
I know it's early, but I want to see more ball movement. I want to see the ball go from side to side. Avoid the ISO type game, at least initially. Get the ball moving. This is not a deep team right now, the Sacramento, because of all the changes and guys out and hurt and trades. Well, run them, but also make them defend, make them move. If you keep the ball on one side, you're easy to defend.
Well, with Russell Westbrook sidelined by injury, and he's not playing tonight, Middleton makes one of the 2 free throws. 7-3 Kings. They were relying on Dennis Schroeder at the point, but now he's been traded to the Cavaliers. George almost knocks away from Levine in the center circle. Renaud now left wing outside the arc. Pivots, gives to Levine. Levine left double, jab step left at the top. He fades off the back of the arc. No, Renaud rebound left the lane. Levine left wing outside the arc for 3, in and out. Rebound battle. Coulibaly is able to secure it. 7-3 Kings. 9:18 to go first quarter. Both teams on 12 wins. Coulibaly bounce pass on Covington, slamming Marvin Bagley. 7-5 Kings on top. 9:09 to go first quarter.
Really nice slip pass inside, and Bagley does a great job of rolling and catching and going right up with the shot.
DeRozan out front, left up top. He whips it baseline. Achua drives, goes reverse, missed the layup. Tip in by Achua, no. Gets the rebound, that's slam. No doubt on that follow. 9-5 Kings, 8:48 to go first quarter. Middleton now on the right sideline. Backing in on Nick Clifford. Bounce pass under the basket. Cutting George. Slam, 2 hands. Bagley with the assist. 9-7 Kings on top. 8:35 to go first quarter. Levine edge of the circle. Hash mark left wing. Clifford. Clifford now comes off of an O screen. Right at the foul line, guarded by George. 13 on the clock. Back in the center circle, Levine. Levine driving down the left block. Flips up a shot. No and one, but a foul by Marvin Bagley. So 9-7 the score. Kings on top. Zach Levine will go to the line to shoot 2. Hey, our good friend IQX is listening from Orange Beach, Alabama on Sirius XM 909. X9 has just gotten his dinner, settled in.
So what we're seeing matchup-wise, we're seeing Keyshawn George start this game off defending Zach Levine, and Bilal Coulibaly has the assignment, especially going to be in the paint, to defend DeMar DeRozan.
Zach Levine makes the free throw. 10-7 Kings on top. And Hello to Alan and Mel and now Loudoun County. Beautiful Loudoun County. Another free throw coming for Zach LaVine. DeRozan is yet to take a shot.
Yep. Bob Carrington's got the rookie
Nate
Clifford, and you can put some pressure on him. Make him turn. Make him pick up his dribble.
11-7 Kings after the made free throws. Coulibaly, hash mark on the right wing. Right of the lane. Out front, Middleton. Down low, Bagley. Turns, jump hook in the lane. He's 8 feet from the basket. Nestles in the basket. 11-9. Wizards within 2. Now center circle, LaVine. Left elbow. Working left to right. The Kings. Guarded by Middleton. LaVine. Step back just inside the arc. Left wing, no. Rebound. Achua almost has it. Carrington knocks it to Bagley. Carrington now throws it up to George. Poke loose from behind by Zach LaVine. Now up court comes DeRozan. Left up top to Achua. Achua at the point between the circles. 16 on the clock. Left wing outside the arc. DeRozan looking to break down Kershawn George. Edges on the left side of the lane. Top of the arc. Achua. Ball fake. Foul line. Jab step. Almost fell down. Then takes a jumper. No. Middleton the rebound. 11-9 Kings. Middleton. Right elbow. Silver denied the shot by Renault. Top of the arc, Coulibaly, and we're going to have a foul on Maxime Renault.
Wizards did a really nice job defensively on that last segment of packing it in the paint when DeRozan had the ball. They kept him in front. A couple of guys stunted, which is a fake double team. Came back, and that's what you want to do against a guy like DeRozan.
Dylan Cardwell will come in and replace Maxime Renault, who has 2 fouls now. Right sideline Carrington into Middleton. Baseline right. Guarded by Clifford. Backs in right block. Turns. Banks and scores on the right block. And we're tied at 11. 7:13 to go. First quarter of play. Meet Clifford now. Left the center circle. Guarded by Carrington. Still on the dribble with the right hand. Switches to the left. Now feeds. Foul line LaVine. Achua baseline right. That's just Achua. Back to LaVine. Foul line driving. Shovels under the basket to Cardwell. Right corner Achua. Achua jab step inside the arc. Now shooting to his right, leaning to his left. Air ball. Carrington catches it. Scoots up court. Finds left corner Middleton and through his hand. Middleton was already dreaming about that open three and took his eye off the ball. Timeout, 11-11 the score, 6:42 to go, first quarter of play.
Well, 2 really nice defensive segments right before that timeout. Wizards did a good job again, taking away the baseline, packing it in, shrinking the court, and that's exactly what you want to do. That's what they worked on in practice.
All right, tied with 6:42 to go, and Kevin, thanks for listening. Again, we thank everyone. As Kevin says, sorry about missing Friday night. We had a great time Friday night at Fuddruckers, our Michelob Ultra Live party. We're going to do it again in February. We'll give you details on that as we want to get the whole gang, get everyone together. So be listening for that. Another Michelob Live Ultra post-game party coming up in February. Tied at 11. More in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Happened twice last week. Wizards win. It's $2.50 Big Mac the next day on the McDonald's app. Only on the app. Like maybe you're listening. Like our good friend down in Orange Beach, Alabama on an app. Sirius XM 909. He's got us tonight. It's a beautiful part of the country down that part of Alabama. Hello Fresh. Nutrition that fits your ambition. We're talking factory. Eat like a pro. And we're always brought to you by Capital One. Offering checking and savings accounts with no fees or minimums. What's in your wallet? We certainly hope it's Capital One. Jonathan Morris, our Director of Intelligence, tells us 10 of the Wizards' 11 points have been in the paint. Precious Achua is 2 of 7. He's taken as many shots as the entire Wizards, who are 5 of 7. Your early impressions, Mr. Consor?
Yeah, well, both teams are really trying to, feel each other out early. And if you remember the last game, Dave, Wizards, I think they gave up 28 points or 29 points in the first quarter. So you want to keep that number down. It looks like a much better start.
Working left to right, the Sacramento Kings, DeMar DeRozan bringing up court. Meant by Coulibaly. That's a matchup that Glenn identified off a Cardwell screen. Right elbow. Then ball knocked loose by Coulibaly. Scramble for loose ball. Keyshawn George falls on Coulibaly. Coulibaly on the floor is able to give it to Middleton. Now the Wizards come out of that scrum. Coulibaly now to Middleton. It's tipped by DeRozan. Gets it. Does Middleton. Right corner. Crossover takes the three. It's there. Oh, it's there. Counted for 2. But it's still there. 13-11 Wizards, 6:11 to go, and that's their first lead of the game. left the circle now. Nick Clifford started on defense, which you like to hear. Clifford now to Cardwell. Out front, left the center circle, guarded by Anthony Gill, who's come in. No Alex Sarr, and then knocked away by Coulibaly. Gill gets it ahead of Coulibaly, foul in the basket, and going for the slam. It came off the front of the rim, but he was fouled. It may have been Dylan Cardwell from behind. So the defense triggering things for the Wizards. 13-11 as Bilal Coulibaly will go to the free throw line.
Once again, Anthony Gill comes in a game.
Makes the difference.
And does something positive, whether it's a three or a rebound or a steal. That time came in with a steal right away.
And we asked Brian Keefe about this, and I don't know about you, I've never seen, I don't think you have either, Glenn, a player that can be this inconsistent in the rotation, yet this effective.
Yeah, his playing time varies, yet he's involved in every play, every timeout. It doesn't matter what it is. Last game he played 17 minutes, had 9 points and 10 rebounds. Almost a double-double in 17 minutes.
And a clean block on Bronny James.
Yes, it was.
Yes. All right, both free throws made by Bilal. 15-11 Wizards. 8-0 Wizards run. All right, working left to right, the Sacramento Kings. Again, a Kings team without Domantas Sabonis. They manage him as he's coming back from that knee injury. Achua right of the center circle. Pass out front, deflected by Gill, but getting it is Malik Monk.
That was another steal.
Monk, there was a question about him with a right heel injury. Crossover takes a three, no. And the rebound volleyball by Achua out of play. He was able to rise and get his paw on it, but his swat led to it going out of play on the baseline.
How about Anthony Gill once again stepping in the passing lane? He got his hand on that ball, almost a steal, but it popped right back into a Sacramento player's hands.
Wizards lead by 4. Gill through the center circle. On the dribble, cuts to his left, hands off Coulibaly. Coulibaly, top of the arc, left wing Carrington, ball fake, left elbow, edges in the paint, denied, finds right corner, Will Riley's in, right by Nick Clifford. Riley looking to break down Clifford, spins, throws back out front. Coulibaly, ball fake, tries on Cardwell, underhand, off the glass, scores! 10-0 Wizards run, 17-11 Wizards lead as Coulibaly just knifes to the basket.
That was nice. So refreshing to see a catch and quick drive by Bilal.
Zach LaVine drives on Riley down to the baseline, push up a shot, no. Rebound Achua. Back out front driving. Clifford right of the lane. His pass out front, almost stolen by Coulibaly. Monk gets it. He tries to throw under the basket. They say it was tipped by Carrington. It was intended for cutting Zach LaVine. So 3 seconds on the shot clock. It will stay with the Sacramento Kings. No, they change it. They change it. It'll be Wizards ball. 17-11. Wizards on top. I almost thought I entered the game. I heard A.J. Johnson coming in.
Yeah, I thought it said DJ Johnson.
I thought it said Dave Johnson.
Yeah, well.
Boy, talk about make my heart jump. Yeah. A.J. Johnson is in for the Wizards.
It's nice to be related to half the NBA.
17-11 Wizards. Now Riley, Capital One Arena logo on the right side. Bounce pass to Gill. Right wing outside the arc. Guarded by Cardwell. Now front Riley. Head to the circle. Riley stops. Star drives right. Block. Hangs. Blocked. Getting the block ball. Malik Monk. Racing up court as Monk blocked it. Pass on the wing. LaVine stolen by Johnson. Johnson's alone. A.J. to the basket. Slam. 2 hands. High flying. 19-11. A 12-0 Wizards run. That Wizards now up by 8.
The reason you were surprised, A.J. Johnson early burn, as well as Jameer.
Kings working left to right. LaVine, ball fake. Now throw back to Isaiah Stevens on the left wing. His three-pointer, no. And we have a loose ball foul on the Wizards. I think it might be Anthony Gill.
You are correct.
It will be Kings ball on the side out. 3:59 to go. First quarter. Matt, who lives near Sacktown, is just listening today on Sirius XM 909. Willis Reeds, it's always good to have you on board. Is
Willis?
From the right sideline, Nick Clifford will inbound the ball. Clifford gets into Malik Monk. Hash mark on the right wing, guarded by Jameer Watkins has come in. Bounce pass. Cardwell gets in the paint. Denied. Back out front to Monk for 3. Air ball. And Skull Lavissiere is also in for the Wizards. Again, the Capital City Go-Go played last night against the Wisconsin Herd one. Again, the Wizards do not have Tristan Vukcevic and Alex Sarr both out with injury. Top of the arc, Will Riley cuts to his right. Riley throws A.J. Johnson to the point. Right elbow, back to Riley. Right wing outside the arc for 3 off the back of the iron. No. Battle for the rebound. Anthony Gill chasing the corner and gets it. Gill blocked in at the hash mark right wing. Top of the arc, A.J. Johnson and the travel. trying to fake out Devin Carter, and instead a violation. 3:29 to go, first quarter. We're going to be back in our nation's capital on this Sunday night for NBA basketball. Left to right, Neat Clifford comes up court, shadowed by A.J. Johnson. Now right of the circle, Monk. Off a Cardwell screen, right block, switches hands, left hand, right side, misses. Labissiere gets a rebound. Head now to Watkins. Watkins, edge of the circle, left wing. Riley circles out front. Riley spins, foul line, gives Skull Labissiere, left side of the lane. A 14-footer is good. A 14-0 Wizards run. The Wizards lead by 10, 21-11. 2:56 to go, first quarter of play. Left the circle, Monk off a Cardwell screen. The right elbow rises, shoots, misses badly. Rebound, look what I found. Throwing up a jump hook was Devin Carter, misses. Rebound tipped out, and a runner by Clifford is no good. And getting the rebound, Labissiere.
The first thing Brian Keefe told me about Labissiere is that he could shoot it.
Pass by Johnson deflected, and Labissiere fouls Isaiah Stevens in his effort to get the deflected ball back. The Kings have not scored in 6 minutes. Wizards trying to keep it that way. The Wizards have a 10-point lead with 2:32 left here in the first quarter. Wizards 21, Kings 11 on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Johnson and you on this Sunday alongside Jonathan Morris, our Director of Intelligence, Tim Marker, our wonderful engineer. Brian Alvin is with us today. Chase Hughes will join us in between the first and second quarter for more of his insight from Monumental Sports Network. Chris White is also with us. The whole gang. Hey, snowed in South Carolina. Be safe down there, Trevor. I understand the South really got hit by the latest wave of snow. We didn't want any of it. We have plenty still on the ground up here in Washington, D.C. And on the way home from the gym, Jonathan Steele. And that will keep you healthy. 21-11 Wizards by 10 after the Kings jumped out to an early advantage and seemed to have more pop. But the Wizards got things together. They were able to get 6 points off 4 Kings turnovers. Wizards do have 5 turnovers, but the Kings yet to score off any of those turnovers. Kings led by 5 at one point, but now it's the Wizards by 10 at 21-11. And it's a Wizards team led in scoring right now by Marvin Bagley with 6 points. Again, no Alex Sarr calf strain tonight. For the Kings, no Domantas Sabonis. Dennis Schroeder has been traded to Cleveland Cavaliers, and Russell Westbrook is out with a foot injury.
I think it's important to note that today is the NBA is celebrating the 75th anniversary of 3 true pioneers. Chuck Cooper, Nathaniel Sweetwater Clifton, and Earl Lloyd, the league's first black players who really changed the game forever. Those guys. And I remember my dad telling me about Sweetwater Clifton when he first signed. I think he was the first player to sign a contract. Black player to sign a contract. And Earl Lloyd was the first black player to play in a game, which, you talk about pioneers leading the way. Those 3 guys.
75th anniversary, yep. You said, yep. And it is the start of Black History Month.
Yes, it is.
So we have turned the page to February. Jameel Watkins gets called for a foul on DeMar DeRozan, and that stops the Kings' some 6-minute scoring drought. 21-12, the Wizards on top with 2:22 to go.
And they're all wearing shirts honoring practice jerseys, honoring the 3. It says Cooper, Clifton, and Lloyd on the back of their practice jerseys.
Second free throw missed out front. Riley, top of the key, hands off Watkins. Watkins, right sideline, A.J. Johnson, cuts to his left. 10 on the clock for this year. Top of the arc, bounce pass Gill. Right elbow, spins in lane, flips to the shot off balance, shoots. Misses as he got his feet twisted up there. 21-12 to score. Wizards. DeMar DeRozan looking to break down Riley. DeRozan backs in, turns baseline right, denied by Riley. They work it out front. Long distance 3 is no good by Malik Monk, and the rebound comes to Riley. Riley comes up court, hash mark on the right wing. 21-12 Wizards. Riley out front. Labissiere open for 3 off the back of the iron. No, A.J. Johnson secures the rebound. Right wing Riley. Right corner Watkins is open for 3. No, off the rim. And the rebound chased down by Devin Carter. He has to save it. Throws it up Gill deflects it, but Gill gets called for a loose ball foul in his zeal to get that awkward save by Devin Carter.
Boy, Watkins missed a wide open three from the corner.
That was right in front of the Wizards bench. It's one of the cases where the bench was actually celebrating before the shot went in, and of course it didn't go in. That is the 5th team foul, so DeRozan will go to line. 21-12 Wizards. Allen says Will Dawkins, such a good general manager, he got the Kings to trade Dennis Schroeder before the game.
Yeah. That's getting it done.
That's getting it done. You control other teams' moves. 21-13 Wizards. In fact, I was reading a preview story after the loss to the Celtics, and they were saying, we're relying on Dennis Schroeder with Russell Westbrook now. Well, then we find out Schroeder traded, and for the Kings. 21-14, both free throws made by DeRozan. Edge of the circle, Johnson. Left at the top of the key, Lavissiere. Right by Cardwell. Dribbles to the right of the top of the key. Bounce past A.J. Johnson. Whirls out front, top of the arc. Right by Malik Monk. 7 on the clock. A.J. goes at Malik. Underhand, bang, and score! Left hand extended off the glass, left side, 23-14.
Boy, he just set him up and exploded. There wasn't much of a move there. He just shot right by him.
Monk, hash mark right wing, bounce past Cardwell at the foul line. Left wing, DeRozan goes a drive. Shut off by Gill. Left the lane. Now DeRozan looking to break down Gill. And he turns the baseline left, shoots. No. Good defense without fouling by Anthony Gill, who has 2 fouls. Riley, Capital One Arena logo. Driving, spins, right elbow. Bounce pass under the basket. Johnson, low pass, lost it. DeRozan gets it for the Kings. Center circle, Monk behind the back dribble to elude Watkins. Goes right elbow, drives. Bounce pass is intercepted by Gill. Gill ahead to Johnson. Left elbow, floats up. Gill going for the slam. Can't bring it down. Ricochets out to Stevens. Now Devin Carter on the left wing. Carter behind him goes to Malik Monk. 14 seconds left in the first quarter amid this chaos. 23-14 Wizards. Monk gives DeRozan top of the arc, 6 on the clock. DeRozan goes at Watkins, lost the ball. Riley picks it up, 2 seconds. Mid-court, the shot off the rim. Oh,
close.
Wow, that would have been some exclamation mark. All right, Ben Hubbard, thanks for joining us. 23-14 Wizards on top of the Kings. Chase Hughes will join us next. In fact, he's going to be talking about Jamir Watkins. Get ready for that and more on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Dave Johnson back, and best defensive quarter for the Wizards all season, holding the Kings to 14 points. And on the subject of defense, Chase, I think Jamir Watkins is on your mind.
Yeah, so I told you guys earlier this season how Watkins had approached C.J. McCollum in training camp to ask him about C.J.'s former teammate, Herb Jones, and what makes him a great defender. Well, it turns out Jamir did the same thing with Chris Middleton. He wanted to know all about Jrue Holiday, mainly what he does behind the scenes that has made him one of the most decorated defensive guards of his generation. Holiday is a 6-time all-defense selection, so Jamir is very smart to be asking those kind of questions.
Well, and this is what you love about this Wizards team. I know you've been around at Chase and you, Glenn. These guys just want to learn.
Yeah, they want to learn,
and that's on and off the court. Johnson, right of the circle for the Wizards. Riley left the circle. At the point between the circles, cuts to his left. Driving, jab step left, block, back up on Johnson. Right wing Anthony Hill, ball fake. He drives, going to the basket, hangs in the air, and he's fouled by Isaiah Stevens as he ends up on the deck.
Took a hard fall.
Ouch. And Stevens got called for a foul or no? There was no foul? I was just assuming it's apparently off Stevens. It'll be Wizards ball.
It was like a block dunk attempt. How could that not be a foul? And Brian Keith should have I would have got a T. I think they should have gotten a T. Because
did get a T.
Yeah, and because you know what? How is that not a foul?
Well, I called it, but that means nothing. DeMar DeRozan to shoot the technical. So Isaiah Stevens hung with him in the air, cleanly blocked it, and then both went down, but Gill ended up down hard on his back.
The way Gill attacked and was met in the air, the 2 bodies hit. How was that not a body foul?
We've not seen a replay of it. Wizards ball leading 23-15.
Good to see it again.
3-second shot clock into Riley. Baseline right, shoots no. Labissiere the rebound. Out front, Watkins edge of the circle. Watkins top of the arc. To Riley, high pass. He saves it. For A.J. Johnson, broken up by Stevens. It's on the floor. A.J. gets it, 5 on the clock. Left corner, Gill for 3. Oh, he stepped on the sideline. Now that's actually the 7th turnover.
Yeah, that's really what's been
hurting the Wizards.
Yeah, but you know what?
And they only have 1 point so far up to 7 turnovers.
Sacramento's got 6.
Right of the circle now, Stevens. As it worked left to right. Handoff for DeRozan's broken up by Watkins recovers. Drew Eubanks out there trying to set a screen. Doesn't work. DeRozan left elbow. Foul line. Shoots over Watkins off the rim. No. Gill the rebound. Gill gives to Riley to his right. Hash mark right wing. Spins. Back out front, Labissiere. Now Riley at the point between the circles. Cutting Labissiere. A couple pump fakes. Foots with the shot. Left hand. Left side of the restricted arc. 25-15. Labissiere. A nice roll to the basket. Now Isaiah Stevens right of the lane. Eubanks right at the top of the key. His pass to Devin Carter. Left the circle. Carter left double. Left block. Goes reverse. Misses. Eubanks follow. Yes. Eubanks makes it 25-17. Wizards. 10:33 to go. Second quarter. Riley now through the center circle for the Wizards. Bounce pass. A.J. Johnson. Oh, just got away from him. There's another turnover.
Oh, man.
That's the 8th turnover.
I was just going to say Will Riley has yet to score, but he does have 3 assists. And that was his first turnover.
25-17 Wizards. Stevens right of the circle, left the circle Carter, left on top of Eubanks, guarded by Labissiere, hand off to DeRozan, foul line driving, right block, right corner Stevens for 3, air ball, Labissiere swats it to Watkins, and DeRozan fouls Watkins as he's coming up court, although DeRozan is on the ground.
DeRozan
got the worst of it.
Yeah, no question, I don't know.
As he grabbed Watkins, I think Watkins' elbow reflexively just went into DeRozan's nose. 10:07 to go, second quarter of play. Well, insult and injury for DeRozan. He picks up the foul. First team foul for the Kings. A.J. Johnson left the circle, working right to left, cuts to his right. Right elbow, stop, start, right block, bank and score. A little hezzy move as he came down the right side of the lane. 27-17. Wizards back up by 10, matching their biggest lead.
I like that drive. We threw it up nice and high over that white box and soft.
Carter gets in the paint, stolen from behind by Labissiere. Center circle now Johnson, ahead to Watkins to the basket, stuffed 2 hands. Timeout Kings, Wizards biggest lead, 29-17. Labissiere just grabbed it from behind, and the Wizards off to the races.
Tell you what, A.J. Johnson has been a spark plug this game. Yes, he has turned the ball over, but he is making the right basketball plays, and so is Will Riley. 2 young players.
And this is what you want to listen for. This is good, or is going to be a part of our journey. Who do the Wizards want to keep? Down the stretch, we're getting close to the trade deadline. A lot of decisions to be made, and these Wizards players are going to be fighting for their position in the NBA. At Dave J Sports, at Gwen Concert, if you want to check in on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Back with you and concert. Hey, Spencer Tang listening on Inside the Arena on 89.7 FM. Thanks for making it out to Fuddruckers and for everybody listening on 89.7 FM. We're going to have another Michelob Ultra Live party coming up in February. At MedStar Health, we're proud the Wizards continue to trust us as their medical team, and how we treat the pros is how we treat you. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. And I shouldn't call February like it's in the distant future. This is the start of February. We're here. February 1st. Jonathan Morris, our Director of Intelligence, mentions Wizards are up by 12 and they've yet to make a 3.
Yeah.
So curious there. They're up by 12 and they actually have 8 turnovers that have led to only 1 King point, though. The Kings have 6 turnovers. Here's the deal, though. The Kings are shooting 18%.
Yes.
5 of 27. I think the Kings, the percentage is matching our temperature here in Washington, D.C.
The Wizards have not made a 3 yet tonight, which is even strange. It's a strange game. It's a strange flow to this game, and neither team. Well, the Wizards shooting well from the field because they are getting the pick and rolls, paint points, but both for 3 from 4, and the Kings are 1 for 7 from 3.
9:33 to go, second quarter. Drew Eubanks, edge of the circle, hands off Nate Clifford. Foul line, denied there by Riley. Pass back to Stevens, left wing, in the center circle to DeRozan. Watkins is on him. DeRozan cuts to his right, goes at Riley, gets up in the air right at the top to Edith Clifford. 5 on the clock, foul line, ball fake to the basket, bank and score. Nicely done by the rookie Nate Clifford. 29-19. He started tonight, of course, when Dennis Schroeder traded and Russell Westbrook out with injury for the Kings. A.J. Johnson, center circle, is pass to Riley, telegraph. Clifford saves it, or steals it, tries to save it, goes right to the Wizards. Riley for 3, it's there. Well, the assist for Nate Clifford. He saved it, but the Wizards scored it. Now Clifford, already up court, catches under the basket, chased out of the paint though by Labissiere. 32-19 Wizards left the circle to DeRozan, met by A.J. Johnson and fouled by A.J. Johnson as he came down the left side of the lane.
Well, A.J. Johnson has got 4 turnovers, 4 of the 9 turnovers. And a lot of his turnovers, they're not really forced, just kind of throwing a regular bounce pass, but they don't have a lot of snap on those passes, and they're getting deflected or they're getting intercepted.
Kings have made 6 field goals. They've also made 6 free throws, 6 of 7. As DeRozan goes line to shoot 2. 32-19, Wizards on top. Free throw made, 32-20. As Sharif Cooper checks in for Jameer Watkins. I watched the Capital City Go-Go to Wisconsin Herd with the wonderful coverage by Brian Albin and Dee Lynham. And I think Juliana Morgan, I got that right. That's her name as part of the broadcast team.
She's awesome.
She's terrific, too. It was great on Mighty Metal Sports Network, but Sharif had 37 points last night.
You know what, though, Dave? At the live party that we had at Fuddruckers, I had a chance to get Brian Albin's autograph because we were together in the same room. He didn't give it to me.
Yeah, he knows you. He was afraid he was signing the check. 32-21 Wizards. Riley out front. Flowed by Eubanks. Center circle, Sharif Cooper. Picked up now by Levine. Cooper cuts to his right. 3 on the clock. Out front, Riley's got to shoot from 3. Oh, it's there! Ice in the veins. Last 6 belong to Riley. 35-21 Wizards.
Will Riley is a broken play scorer. You know, he just knows where he is on the floor at all times, picks it up and launches.
Levine gets under the basket, his pass deflected. It'll be Kings ball on the baseline. Maxime Renault returns, replaces Drew Eubanks. Again, Renault getting the start with Domantas Sabonis out with that knee injury. Remember, Sabonis missed 27 games early as he was recovering from the injury, so they manage him in the left corner. DeRozan on the baseline, guarded by Gill, left the lane. DeRozan backs in, spins, left block, puts up a shot, no. Rebound Sharif Cooper as it went over Renault's head. Left wing Riley, pull up 3 off the iron, no. Rebound ricochets to Stevens. Head to DeRozan, left the circle, goes at Gill. Oh, Gill the block! But a foul is called. Maybe he got him with the body. Yeah, the block looked clean.
You know what's funny? Doesn't it seem like Gill has not gotten a call all night? He's involved in plays, and it's going against him every night, yet he stays cool, calm, and collected. Hey, by the way, DeRozan is at the free throw line right now. He has gone 7 times. This is going to be 9 times. The Wizards are 3 of 4 from the free throw line. And DeRozan is going to be, he's 6 of 7 right now.
And continues his success from the charity stripe. Makes a free throw, 35-22 Wizards. Anthony Gill with 3 fouls. Anthony Gill, if you remember, timeout by Brian Keefe. He had that block late against the Lakers on Bronny James. It was called a foul. They said, no, we're going to review it. It was a clean block. Anthony Gill always brings it. Thank you for bringing your time to us tonight, and I appreciate the journeys. We're just going to have some fun with NBA basketball and the Washington Wizards as they play the theme from Rocky. I'm not sure why they're doing that, but it doesn't matter. That's part of the fun. Back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Dave Johnson back here with Clint Consoy, and interesting games going on the court below us. What do they call those noodles that you swim the pool with?
Not Noodles Benson, our old statistician. No,
but
him.
We see a bunch of young people sword fighting with noodles. Yeah. Which, and And interesting musical selection. They started with a theme to Rocky. And again, for our younger listeners, Google it. But that was a great movie, Sylvester Stallone's Breakout in 1977. And then they went to Survivor, Eye of the Tiger, which also was one of the Rocky 2, right? Yeah. From one of the Rocky movies. So
love the Rocky movie.
Now I'm just trying to figure out the Rocky theme connection here on a night where we're taking on the Sacramento Kings. And as you know, Glenn Consor, Sacramento is known as the home of the Jelly Bellies. The Jelly Beans.
The Jelly Beans, yeah.
35-22 the score. In fact,
do you remember who played Rocky's manager in Rocky 1?
Yeah, Burgess Meredith.
Bingo.
And who played the Penguin in Batman.
Yes.
Was a great actor. So
see what Jonathan Morris is learning? He didn't know it either.
See, Jackson listening says, wait, never heard the Rocky theme in Capital One. I think he's right. And we got to get to the bottom of this. And Sam, he's checking in after a short walk. It's going to, in this weather, it's going to be a short walk.
Yeah.
It is,
Tell me about it.
Depending on where you're listening, it is cold. It is, they're talking about maybe tomorrow a high of 33, a high, which would be the first time I think it's been over freezing.
You know, I got to tell you, I'm getting up early to walk Oscar, right?
Dog.
He loves it. No. You know, he's happy, he wants to get out, and I'm bundled up with 48 layers of clothing on, and he couldn't care less.
35-23, Wizards on top. Second free throw made by DeRozan. Sharif Cooper in the center circle for the Wizards. A.J. Johnson, right wing. Around Clifford. Kept at bay, now to Clifford. Cooper, rather. Gets in the paint, shoots over Clifford and scores. Broke his ankles, too. A little crossover move. Clifford ended up on the deck. And Sharif Cooper scores 37-23 Wizards. Right wing, Isaiah Stevens. Guarded by Carrington. Stevens on the dribble. Hands off to Zach LaVine. Guarded by Jameer Watkins. LaVine, right elbow, driving. Runner off the back of the iron. In and out. Good defense by Watkins. Now Cooper comes up court. Left wing Carrington. Left corner Riley for three. Off the rim, no. Sharif Cooper gets a rebound. Throws out front to Carrington. Left the circle. Hash mark right wing A.J. Johnson. Right sideline Riley. Back to A.J. Johnson. A deep three. Oh, it's there. New season high for A.J. Johnson. 9 points, a smooth stroke, and the Wizards' biggest lead, 17. Nick Clifford, left wing, out front Renault, top of the arc. Hands off to Isaiah Stevens, left side of the lane, gets up in the air, flips to the shot. No, Labissiere gets a rebound.
That was really good defense, on-ball defense by Sharif Cooper.
Carrington floats up. Johnson trying to score to the basket, missed the slam. Renault the rebound, head to DeRozan. Working left to right. DeRozan almost traveled. And at the point now, LaVine drives. Chased out of the paint by Labissiere. Now pass is deflected by Riley, getting it Clifford. Left double, jab step, under the basket. Renault stuff. Wizards swarming all over the place, but Renault was left open under the basket. 40-25 Wizards. 5:57 to go here in the second quarter. Carrington, Capital One Arena logo, top of the arc, Labissiere. Labissiere spins, hands off to Carrington. Carrington out front for three, off the back of the iron, no. Labissiere swats to the rebound, comes to Johnson, top of the arc. Riley for three, off the rim, no. Long rebound on the wing. LaVine gets it, and he's fouled at midcourt by Carrington. 5:38 to go, second quarter, 40-25. Wizards on top, and some substitutions being made. Bilal Coulibaly is back in, Marvin Bagley back in, Keyshawn George back in, Chris Middleton back in.
You know, give credit to the Wizards. Give credit to the Wizards defense, Dave. You know, this is a team, the Kings, they're trying to get some type of flow and rhythm, and the Wizards doing a really good job putting pressure on the perimeter.
Out front, top of the arc for 3 and gets it to go. Doug McDermott just in the game. All right, 40-28 Wizards. Now to George, right of the strict arc, banks and scores on McDermott. Wizards quick answer, 42-28. Up court, right of the circle, LaVine. Off of Renault's screen, goes to Bagley, gets in the restrict arc, bank, no. Rebound Renault, throws out on the wing to Clifford, cross court pass McDermott. Right elbow, bounce pass Renault, right of the lane, backs in, spins, knocked loose by Middleton, and it went off Middleton. So, with 5 seconds on the shot clock, it'll be Kings ball. And the Sacramento Kings have not won since January 16th, and that was a win over the Wizards. Where He's going to review it, apparently, I think. They are going to review that. All right. It's going to be challenged. 5:01 to go, second quarter. Hey, Sylvester is checking in, listening from Des Moines, Iowa, and introducing Grandma to the radio party. Welcome aboard in Des Moines, Iowa. I bet you it's cold there, but it's so good to have Grandma on board on the radio party from Des Moines, Iowa. It might be the first check-in we've had from Des Moines.
Yes.
Back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Dave Johnson back with Glenn Consor at Capital One Arena. Nobody moves. We just paused 10 seconds. Station identification on the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
You're listening to Washington Wizards basketball on WFED Washington and W232DG Sterling. Federal News Network, your home for Wizards basketball.
Hope Sylvester's grandma's doing okay in Des Moines, Iowa. Of course, Sylvester's a proud Iowa State graduate, the Cyclones. Whereas the University of Iowa is the Hawkeyes. Yes. 42-28 Wizards on top as they review whether it was off Middleton, off Renault. So this is a question of possession. We have not gotten an answer to that question yet. We're brought to you by Capital One, offering checking and savings accounts with no fees or minimums. What's in your wallet? We hope it's Capital One. They'll be listening maybe as soon as Tuesday. We'll announce our next Michelob Live Ultra party. It won't be Tuesday, but we might be able to announce it Tuesday. It'll be later in the month of February at Fuddruckers.
After review, the Replay Center official has ruled that there is no clear and conclusive evidence to overturn the on-court ruling. Therefore, the ruling of Sacramento basketball stands. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Right. So I haven't heard that in a while. No clear and conclusive evidence
for a second challenge later in the game.
So Brian Keefe, I think, believes there was. Yeah. Obviously, because he called for a challenge. So it's going to stay Kings ball at 5 on the clock. Clear and conclusive. Those are phrases that can be debated.
Well, that's like, hear that in court.
Yeah.
With lawyers.
That's right. All right, baseline right, Malik Monk to inbound the ball. Into Levine, 4 seconds. Guarded by Coulibaly. Jab step, fade, baseline left, swish. That's a Zach Levine shot. 42-30. That was conclusive. The Wizards by 12. Down below Coulibaly, working right to left. Coulibaly center circle. Pardon me, that was Carrington center circle. Middleton left the top 8. Pass to Coulibaly in the paint. Bounce past Carrington. Right wing outside the arc for 3. It's off the rim. Reno the rebound. And Wizards' biggest lead in this one, 17. Lead by 12 right now. Levine, edge of the circle, working left to right. Cuts to his right. Levine. We're going to break down George. Step back 3. Got it.
Starting to feel it.
Zach Levine makes it 42-33. And Zach Levine now with 9 points. Last 5 for the Kings, in fact. Bagley, top of the arc, hands off Middleton. Middleton edges in the paint. Left side of the lane. Shoots. Oh, in and out. But it's going to stay. We have a foul. Battling for the rebound. Reno gets called for his 3rd foul. And what's impressive about that, you had 2 Kings under the basket against 1 Wizard, Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, he's always in the right place down there. You know, he's always either tipping it out, tipping it back up at their backboard, or grabbing it himself.
42-33 Wizards. Inbound George, top of the arc to Carrington. George at the point, dribbles to his right, driving, floats up Bagley. Left hand window, throws it down. 44-33. George to Bagley. All right, the Wizards get some momentum back. Left in the circle, Levine. Bounce pass intended for McDermott. Goes right to Bagley. Ahead to Carrington. Floats it up George. Broken up by Monk. Kept alive by Carrington. Comes out the middle. Center circle. Drives. Bounce pass. Coulibaly. Denied by Cardwell. Goes out of play off Dylan Cardwell. Well, Coulibaly hung in the air, but Cardwell hung right with him. 44-33 Wizards. 3:35 to go. Second quarter. Marvin Bagley inbound the ball. Baseline left. Bagley in the left corner. Coulibaly. Got by McDermott. Drives. Stop.
There you go.
He kept driving, and he ended up scoring. 46-33 Wizards. 3:24 to go. Now Clifford. Euro step in the paint. Throws out to McDermott. Left wing. Driving. Out front. Intended for Monk. And they say it was tipped by Carrington. I don't know. It looked like it was just thrown away. I don't think Carrington got it.
Bub didn't think he tipped it. And they're not challenging it.
Monk inbound to Levine. Levine, Capital One Arena logo, right side. Cuts to his right. Couple pump fakes, right wing for three. He's got it.
Feeling it.
That's now 12 for Levine, who has the last 8 for the Kings, 46-36. And yeah, 3-pointers will help you get back in the game. It's now a 10-point game. Bagley, top of the arc. Shovel to Middleton. Middleton, top of the key, right at the top of the key. Shoots off the rim. No. Rebound Levine. All right, the Kings once down by 17. Can bring this under 10. Left the circle, Levine. Guarded by George. Cuts to his left. Levine left the lane. Step back three. This time the left wing buries it. Oh, he's more than feeling it. 15 points. 46-39. Last 11 Kings points belong to Zach Levine. Now George. Baseline right. Backs in. Right block. Shoots over a Monk. It's short off the front of the rim. And the Kings come back and continue. Levine left the center circle. Edge of the circle for three. Drills it. Last 14 Kings points belong to Zach Levine. What was once a 17-point Wizard lead has dwindled, and I mean dwindled down to 4.
Zach Levine averages 20 points a game. And we have seen throughout the course of his career him get hot like this. And he's that kind of guy to bring a team back all by himself. At the blink of an eye, the Wizards are up by 4 due to the prolific scoring of Zach Levine, all from 3 as well.
He's got 18 points now. Inbound to Middleton, edge of the circle after a kick ball by the Kings. And now we're going to have, I think, Nick Clifford off the ball.
Zach Levine is 4 of 5 from 3. It seems like the 4 have come in the last 4 minutes.
That's the 4th team foul in the Kings. So a minute 59 left in the second quarter. And the Wizards are no longer in cruise control. Right sideline, Carrington. Lob for Coulibaly. 2 hands. 1 motion. 2 points. 48-42. Wizards get a little breathing room back.
Well, an out-of-bounds pass. Beautiful pass right over the rim.
Now full court pressure on the Kings as Clifford brings it across with 2 seconds to spare. A minute 40 left of the first half. Clifford left elbow driving to the basket. Goes reverse, no. On a foul. And Marvin Bagley, hung with him in the air, will get called for the foul.
You know, with DeRozan not in the game, the Wizards switched to Bilal Coulibaly to defend Zach Levine. Originally it was Keyshawn, and now Bilal's on him.
So now Nick Clifford at the line. A minute 36 left. Hey, Scott and Cordy listing in Greenbelt, although I think that should be called Ice Belt right now because we haven't seen green around these parts in a good week.
Frozen tundra out there.
You think about it, 48-42 Wizards. The last Saturday we were in Charlotte, and the game was moved to an afternoon game so we could get home, and then it started snowing. It stopped snowing, but it's not melting. And there's a free throw made by Clifford, 48-42. Now, you might say, Dave, come on, it should be 48-43. But apparently, upon review, they reversed one of Zach Levine's 3 to a 2-pointer. So you had to do a little subtraction in there, which I did. Had no extra charge for you. Now both free throws are made.
You put the abacus away now.
Takes it 48-43. Coulibaly, edge of the circle. Foul line, drives. As he got in the paint, we have a foul. It'll be Malik Monk. It'll put Coulibaly at the line because that's the 15th foul on the Sacramento Kings. So the Wizards are on 4 team fouls as well. So they're going to be everyone's shooting the rest away. Hey, Matt is checking in early for halftime trivia. He says he hopes the halftime trivia answer is Chris Webber. He doesn't know what the question is yet, but
it's either Chris Webber or Ish Smith is the answer. One of those 2 guys.
Jonathan Morris, who develops our trivia questions, often finds links between the 2 teams, and there certainly is a link. Coulibaly makes both free throws, but Jonathan goes so deep that we're not even sure he comes over the players that played in the NBA. 50-43 Wizards. Clifford now from the left side. And Monk left the circle. Malik Monk, hash mark left wing. sideline. Koulibaly guarding Zach LaVine. LaVine driving, gets in the strict arc, lost the ball, recovers, banks and scores on the right side after starting from the left corner. Kings have made it a 5-point game. A minute left in the first half. 50-45 Wizards.
And they're doing it with DeRozan on the bench.
Edge of the circle, Koulibaly. Foul line drives. Low pass, Bagley left corner for three. It's there. Marvin Bagley picked it up at his ankles and scores 53-45 Wizards. 45 seconds left first half. Monk left the circle, cuts to his right. Monk out front. He'll try a three. No. Rebound Bagley, a good position on Cardwell. 34 seconds left in the first half. 53-45 Wizards. Carrington now, right of the circle on the dribble left hand, switches hands. 12-second shot clock. Edge of the circle, Koulibaly, guarded by Clifford. Koulibaly cuts to his right. Down to 6 seconds. Now goes to McDermott, drives, flips to the shot, leaning to his left and shooting to his right. He missed. A rebound belongs to Monk. Shot clock is off. 53-45. Wizards. Floor is spread. Left the circle now, LaVine. Jab step, fades left wing for three.
Wow.
He got it. Wow, 18 this quarter, 53-48, and the buzzer sounds, and that's it. Zach LaVine with 18 of his 22 points in the second quarter. The second quarter belonged to the Kings and LaVine, and they close the gap, but the Wizards lead at the half, 53-48.
I'm watching Zach LaVine walk off the court, and I think I see some blue flames coming from his fingertips. He has been just completely barbecuing the Wizards and keeping the Kings in this game all by himself.
Because they're only shooting 35% as a team. All right, Chase Hughes, you're with us.
I am, and I want to talk about Marvin Bagley. He had a strong first half against his former team, and we've talked about how he's putting up some of the best numbers of his career. His assist numbers, for instance, are way up. He's also having his best season at generating free throws. His free throw rate, which is the number of free throw attempts per field goal attempt, is at 40%, which is a career high. And for context on how high of a number that is, it's right at DeMar DeRozan's career average. DeRozan is well known for getting to the line and, of course, is on the opposing team tonight.
All right, good stuff from Chase Hughes. And you're ready for NBA trivia? It's coming up.
As ready as I can be.
Okay, and Brian Allen's going to join us as well in just a moment. 53-48 at halftime on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Johnson Court Concerts, we get you set for the second half of play. Hey, Sergio Garcia listing in Northern Virginia. As always, if you want your car to look brand new, Garcia Brothers Detailing. Google them. They're great and great members.
I'm going to them. I got to, especially now.
No, yeah.
I got to wait till all this stuff gets cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah, but they'll sort you out. Good friends of the radio party. They were with us at Fuddruckers again. We're going to have another party coming up in February. Michelob Ultra Live post-game show live. We want to get together with all of you. 53-48 Wizards. Below Koulibaly brings it up court. George left to the top of the right corner. Middleton shoots a three. It's there. Now counted for two. But still counted 55-48 as Precious Achiuwa could not shut him down. Center circle DeRozan now for the Kings. Guarded by Koulibaly is pass deflected by Middleton, intended for Nick Clifford in the corner. Now this is something that does make me nervous. DeRozan has 8 points, and they're all 8 from the free throw line. He's yet to make a field goal.
That's going to change.
DeRozan, travels as he comes off of an screen.
And when Sacramento made that run, he was on the bench.
It was Zach LaVine.
Yes.
As he had 18 of 22 points in the second quarter. And if you are just tuning in, the Wizards are up by 17. Left elbow George faces Clifford. Now right elbow Renault on him. Pulls back, top of the arc for three. Off the back of the iron, no. Rebound collected by Precious Achiuwa. Hands off to Zach LaVine. Left to circle. Foul line. Feeds on the basket. Renault, bank and score.
That was too easy.
That was too easy.
Way too easy.
And it's back to a 5-point game. 55-50 Wizards. Carrington, hash mark left wing. End of the circle, Koulibaly. Top of the arc, Bagley, 15 on the clock. One dribble, hands off Carrington. Carrington, head to the circle. Driving down to the baseline left. Turns, fades, no. Rebound DeRozan. Missed about a 17-footer. Pass up court, Achiuwa. Goes at Middleton. Lost the ball. Just lost the ball. He was looking to break down Middleton with a little shake and bake, and there was more quake to the shake and bake, and he lost the ball. 55-50 Wizards. 10:44 to go, third quarter. Right of the circle now, Coulibaly. Capital One Arena local. Bagley out front, driving, thundering in front. Two hands. You can feel him getting downhill and throwing it down. 57-50 Wizards. Left the circle, Levine cuts to his right, guarded by George. Levine, foul line, jab step, denied by George. Left wing to Rosen. Coulibaly the foul. It's going to be on the floor.
Yep.
57-50.
Dave, Marvin Bagley has yet to miss a shot. He's 6 of 6 from the field. He's got 3 rebounds, 13 points, leads the Wizards in scoring. Playing with a lot of bounce and great motor tonight.
Zach Levine inbound the ball on the left sideline, guarded by George. Into Nick Clifford, left the circle. Carrington right in his breadbasket. Clifford cuts to his left on the dribble. 8 seconds, right elbow, rises, shoots, no. Bagley box out in the rebound. 57-50. Wizards look to build their lead. Middleton, Ashmark, left wing crossover for 3. It's there.
There you go.
It's there. Chris Middleton gives the Wizards a 10-point lead. All right, a little breathing room restored. 60-50 Wizards.
Well, Dave, you know what? Before we go to break, this is Bob Carrington's 130th consecutive game.
Wow. Well,
Cal Ripken.
I was just going to, and he's from Baltimore. Yeah. So where did he learn that from? Right? The Baltimore Iron Man. 60-50. Wizards on top of the Kings. At Dave J Sports at Glenn Console. If you want to check in, back with more in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Dave Johnson back with the Glenn Contour here at Capital One Arena. Wizards win. It's $2.50 Big Mac tomorrow, only on the McDonald's app. And if you're in Orange Beach, Alabama, or wherever you're listening, if you're listening on app, let us know. HelloFresh, pro-level nutrition delivered to your door, ready when you are. We're talking Factor. Why not eat like a pro? And February is Heart Health Awareness Month. Take a free heart health risk assessment to learn more about your risk at medstarhealth.org/your heart risk. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. Now, as I read that, I look over to my right, and Jonathan Morris, our Director of Intelligence.
We're not a heart-healthy table up here right now.
He's got, popcorn's not that bad.
No, but I didn't, no. Is it candy popcorn, though?
No, it's just regular popcorn.
Okay, so okay.
But the Mike and Ike's and then
cheesecakes.
Cheesecakes that he just
brought back to Tim. Tim swallowed it like an aspirin. He didn't even chew it.
Meantime, the sweets here at Capital One Arena are all saying, where are the desserts? And they're all here at the radio part of the table. All right, 60-50. The Wizards on top. Nice response.
Yes.
Coming out of halftime for this Washington Wizards team. Again, who held the Kings only 14 points in the first quarter. The Kings' only offense of any substance tonight is Zach Levine. Rosen, right of the foul line of the dribble. Stop start goes at Coulibaly, spins. Left wing outside the arc, Renault for 3. Wow. The big guy, the rookie, makes it 60-53.
DeRozan yet to have a field goal, which is remarkable, and they're still only down 7. That's, that'll put you on alert.
It's a strange sequence. Now lob by Carrington to a cutting and scoring. Coulibaly, fouled by Cardwell. Wow, Coulibaly was able to catch that with Cardwell covering him like a defensive back in football. 62-53. And Bilal Coulibaly now with 12 points on the night.
Coulibaly has, I really like how he's playing tonight. He's attacking the rim, rubbed himself off a high screen for that alley-oop play. Well-designed play for Bilal. And they're looking for him. He's got 12 points.
And he restores the 10-point Wizard lead, 63-53. Again, Wizards' biggest lead was 17. No Domantas Sabonis, no Russell Westbrook because of injury tonight, and Coulibaly fouls DeRozan as he was approaching midcourt. That'll be his second personal, second team foul. Again, the Kings trading Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis, the Cavaliers, for DeAndre Hunter. Hunter is not with the Kings yet. Kings are trying to stop an 8-game losing streak. Again, they have not won since they beat the Wizards back in Sacramento. Top of the arc now, Levine. Deep 3. It's in and out. Bounce around, no. And driving the rebound, Bagley away from Cardwell. Off court, Carrington. Bounce pass, cutting George. Throws over Coulibaly's head. Coulibaly was cutting, I think, looking for the rebound. And that'll be the 10th Wizard turnover. When I say over his head, it's just that Koulibaly didn't have his hands up yet. Now, Capital One Arena will go right side. Nick Clifford, left the circle, DeRozan. Wizards by 10. DeRozan, guarded by George. Edges in the paint, left the strict arc, bank, and one. And that's the first field goal here in the third quarter for DeMar DeRozan.
Which is remarkable. And on that play, you had DeRozan on the left wing, backing in, and the rest of the Kings were completely on the other side. I mean, they weren't even close to him. They gave him all the room. They want to get him going. So that was big time ISO. Left that whole left side open.
So DeRozan at the line, he's already 8 of 9 tonight. 9 of 10. In fact, the Wizards as a team are only 6 of 7. So that's the one area of the Kings, specifically DeRozan, they've excelled. Right of the circle, Carrington to Bagley, top of the arc. Threads a pass, cutting George, left of strict arc, hang, bank, and score. Nicely done by both players. 65-56, inbound, stolen by Koulibaly, and he scores. The wall, surprise, 67-56, Wizards. Now in transition, Clifford, center circle. Hash mark left wing, DeRozan. Levine, now from the left wing, goes at Koulibaly, Euro step, feeds in the paint, Bruno. Behind the back pass, left corner, DeRozan for 3, drains it. Now they'll call it a 2, 67-58. Left the circle, Carrington. Carrington, hash mark left wing. Now feeds Middleton on that left wing, guarded by Nick Clifford. Puts the ball on the floor, spins. As he spun, he lost the ball. He slipped out of his hands.
A lot of turnovers.
67-58. Curious, though, the Kings only have 4 points off the Wizards' 11 turnovers.
Both teams have 11 turnovers.
Right elbow DeRozan, right side of the lane. Baseline left, Clifford, out front Levine. Crossover, top of the key, fade, scores. Once he goes into that crossover and fade, it doesn't seem like he misses. He has 24. 67-60. Wizards. Koulibaly, edge of the circle, off a Bagley screen. Law, bounce pass at that one. Intended for Carrington, stolen by Clifford. Clifford driving, knocked loose by Carrington, getting loose ball Levine. And then we have a foul. It's going to be on Bub Carrington.
Wizards foul number 7, Bub Carrington.
7:29 to go. And it'll be Clifford that will go to the line to shoot 2. 14 fouls now for the Wizards. And the Kings, short-handed, doesn't matter. They're not going away up. They fell down by 17. And the Wizards without Alex Sarr tonight with a calf strain. Fortunately, Marvin Bagley returned from a thoracic injury. Free throw was made by Nick Clifford. What about you, Glenn? I had to look that thoracic is dealing with the lower neck.
Yes, chest up on top.
67-61. They're more specific about injuries now.
They have thoracic surgeons that specialize in that area. And they're not only cardiovascular surgeons.
6-0 Kings run, 67-62 Wizards. Big shout out to all thoracic surgeons who might be listening. Middleton off the screen. Right corner, Carrington open for 3. It's wasn't going to miss that. 70-62. Wizards up by 8. Stops the 6-0 Kings run. The first 3 points for Bub Carrington.
Really nice drawing kick by Chris Middleton to the corner.
Levine left the center circle. We're going to break down Middleton. Couple pump fakes now. Right wing outside the arc. DeRozan for 3. Drains it.
This is what I'm worried about.
Here he comes.
Don't like the match to get him started.
5-point game. 70-65. Crossover. Step back 3 for Carrington. Back-to-back threes for Bub, 73-65. Now Levine goes to drive, spins, bounce pass. They're cutting no block by Bagley. Getting the block ball, George gets it to Carrington. Left wing Middleton, catch and shoot for 3. It's there. Timeout Kings. The Wizards electrified. 76-65. They lead.
Well, you know what? I like the approach. I like the response coming out. Tough defense, blocking shots, getting in the passing lanes, pushing the pace. And we got ourselves a game here because Sacramento's starting to find some rhythm offensively as well.
Well, and DeRozan took him until the second half to make field goals for the Sacramento Kings. Hey, Don Petrie, this is the way to do it. First half on the TV, second half on the radio. He's with us at Columbia, Maryland, in the house. And Jeff is back home from Aruba, and he's saying, what's this white stuff? It's not white sand.
So he'll be gone by morning to some tropical paradise.
He is living a life. And back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Now Levine goes to drive, spins, bounce pass. They're cutting into a no block by Bagley. In the block ball, George gets into Carrington. Left wing Middleton, catch and shoot for three. It's there. Timeout Kings. The Wizards electrified. 76-65, they lead. And that's our Leidos defensive player of the game. We appreciate the support of Leidos all season long. And yes, when defense leads offense, it adds to our defensive player of the game. Robert brings you all the official numbers, official brokerage and jersey patch sponsor of the Wizards. The Wizards are shooting 57% from the field, 8 of 18 beyond the arc, only 6 of 7 from the free throw line. 15 points now for Bilal Coulibaly, 13 each for Chris Middleton and Marvin Bagley. 41% shooting for the Kings. Zach LaVine has 24. He had 22 in the second half. First half, rather. DeMar DeRozan with 16 points now. His first 3 field goals coming here in the third quarter. So the Kings keep losing points. I apologize for that silence. We're trying to hear an announcement. Kings just lost a point. DeRozan 3 turned out to only be a 2. That's the second time that's happened tonight.
Yeah. You're sitting here scratching your head. How is Sacramento in this game? Well, they're 15 of 16 from the free throw line. You could hang around games by making your free throws and getting to the line.
They lose that point, 76-64. Now Cardwell comes down the middle on a feed from Monk, right in and slam, and it's back to a 10-point game. So just as the Kings lose a point, they grab 2 big ones. Carrington, again, as Glenn mentioned, playing his 130th consecutive game. As Kevin and Manassas and McLean says, he obviously is not on the load management theory. George, right elbow, going and banging with Clifford, turns, fades right of the lane, no. And the rebound, Levine. 10-point Wizard lead, 5:59 to go. Levine skips the foul line, running the lane, bank, and 1. 26 now for Levine. That's Coulibaly's third. That'll be the 15th foul in the Wizards. The Kings only have 1 team foul, and we have 5:56 left in the third. So they're more than hanging around, the Kings.
Yes, they are.
So Levine will shoot 1 from the free throw line. Jameer Watkins, Marvin Bagley, Bilal Coulibaly, Bub Carrington, Will Riley. The Wizards lineup. Again, both teams on 12 wins. The Wizards 12 and 35. The Kings 12 and 38 on the season. So they played more games. As Levine makes the free throw. 76-69. Kings had an early 5-point lead, really early in the first quarter. And it was 7-2. Carrington, top of the arc for 3, off the rim, no. Rebound ricocheted around, and we're going to have a loose ball foul on the Kings. Might be Cardwell. It is. 14 seconds on the shot clock. And it'll be inbound on the left sideline for the Wizards, working left to right. Bub Carrington, the handle inbound. Isaiah Stevens starting him. Got to get it in. Carrington into Bagley. Started by Cardwell. And off Carrington. Edge of the center circle. That DMV logo. Carrington on the dribble. 7 o'clock. We're going to break down Cardwell. Step back 3. Off the rim, though. And it goes out of play on the side of the rim. Right to the Kings bench. All right, too close for comfort. 5:33 to go. Third quarter, 76-69 Wizards. Out of the circle, Monk. Lake, bounce pass, cutting Cardwell. Denied by Bagley. Left wing Levine for 3 off the rim. No.
Boy.
Rebound, Will Riley.
I would have bet the ranch that I don't have that he was going to make that shot. He was wide open.
Instead of betting man you are. You don't have it, but you'll bet it. Bagley, top of the arc. Dribbles to his left, hands off Riley. Picked up by Cardwell. Riley spins, left elbow. Couple pump fakes. Denied, needs an option. Right wing, Coulibaly for 3. Off the back of the iron, no. Rebound, Watkins. Watkins, middle of the paint, puts up the foul, misses. Kings get the rebound. 4:54 to go. Third. 76-69 Wizards. Malik Monk drives on Carrington, right block, feeds Cardwell under the basket, and Dillon just escorts it in. A 7-0 Kings run. 76-71. Wizards, 4:38 to go, third quarter. Need a response. Carrington, edge of the circle. Cuts to his right, bounce pass Bagley, trucks the foul slam. Nice. Bagley brings it down. Without question, 78-71. 4:22 to go. That was the response needed. Now from Malik Monk, foul line. Just inside the foul line, his shot good. Malik Monk, and a timeout for the Wizards. First two for Malik Monk. All right, we have 4:13 to go here in the third quarter. 78-73. Wizards holding on to a 5-point lead. More in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Dave Johnson back with Greg Consor. Hey, we have more home games. This has been fun. I've actually been able to rearrange my sock drawer. 78-73 Wizards.
Rearrange it. You only have two socks. Two pairs. What do you mean?
Well,
both of them have holes in them. I've seen it.
Well, every now and then I have to put one on the right and one on the left. And then you rotate. Kind of like a volleyball game. Hey, upcoming home game presented by Ticketmaster. We're back here Tuesday. The New York Knicks in town. Ticketmaster.com/Wizards with your good friend Josh Hart.
Yes.
Who we understand is the chief candy officer for a candy company.
Mike and Ike's, yeah. He's the spokesman for that. And we've been ingesting that quite a bit, I guess.
73. Now Riley gets it knocked away by DeRozan. Devin Carter gets it. Behind the back saves it. But he saves it from the right side all the way over to the left side. He goes out of play. So it should be 23 seconds on the shot clock. No, they say change of possession. 24. All right, Wizards ball. A.J. Johnson. They almost lost it. Almost another turnover. Johnson, left wing Riley. Riley to Labissiere. Top of the arc, guarded by Cardwell. Hands off A.J. Johnson. Johnson, right elbow. Pulls back. 8 on the clock on the right wing. Crossover, top of the key. Left wing, Jameer Watkins out front for three. Off the back of the iron, Labissiere the rebound. Pardon me, that's Riley right in the lane. Back up front, A.J. Johnson. 10 on the clock. Johnson spins at the elbow. Foul line, drive, denied. Now to Riley. Riley, right elbow. Right corner, Johnson. Johnson steps to his right, shoots a three, no. Rebound, Watkins to the basket. Hanging in the air, it's blocked. Riley shot blocked by Cardwell. 2 blocks, and the Kings get the ball. In transition, Monk. Carter in the right corner to Stevens for three. Nicks off the rim. Jameer Watkins gets a rebound, leads the break. Watkins, foul line, goes at Devin Carter and draws a foul. 3:10 to go, third quarter. As Carter the foul. And that will be Jameer Watkins to shoot 2. The Kings' third team foul. Again, the Wizards over the limit right now, so the Kings have the advantage of the bonus. And again, this is way too close for comfort game here.
Way too close. I mean, give the Kings credit. They haven't played well, but they keep responding on these little spurts of Wizards runs.
Jameer Watkins makes the free throw, 79-73. Again, the Kings out of sorts with no Russell Westbrook, no Domantas Sabonis. Dennis Schroeder traded. As Watkins misses the second, battle for the rebound, a long rebound. Malik Monk got it. 79-73. 6-point Wizard lead. 3:03 to go left, third quarter. Monk in the center circle, cuts to his right. 9-3 by Labissiere. Edge of the circle, Levine goes at Anthony Gill. Step back out front for three off the rim. Labissiere tips the rebound, but Cardwell gets it left wing. Kings get the possession. Levine, edge of the circle, goes at Gill. Driving, bank, and score. 29 for Zach Levine, 79-75. 4-point game. Center circle, Riley, guarded by Stevens. On top of the arc, Labissiere. Skull puts the ball on the floor. Left wing, Riley. Riley, guarded by Monk, cuts to his left. Feeds Labissiere left. Ball right corner, Watkins had the reach for it. Then stolen by Devin Carter. Carter steals it away from Watkins. Carter on the left wing, crossover. Off a screen by Cardwell. Hash mark right wing, Malik Monk. 12-second shot clock. 2:09 left. Third quarter, Monk spins. Right of the restrict arc, flips up his jump hook. Good. And now it's a 2-point game. Wizards only lead by 2. 79-77. That 17-point lead they had is so long ago. Johnson drives, bank, and score. He wheeled around rebound. Labissiere at the elbow and just kept going. 11 for A.J. Johnson. Needed it. 81-77 to score. Monk bounce past Cardwell. Right on the top of the key. Left wing Carter. Ball fake. Kevin Carter gets in the paint. Cardwell left at the top of the key. Now hands off. Driving. Loudon to a cutting Cardwell into the basket. Stripped of the ball, but a foul. 81-77 to score.
Wizards foul number 17.
Labissiere gets called for the foul. And they'll put Cardwell at the line to shoot to try to make it a 2-point game once again.
You know, right before Monk scored on that last offensive segment, I was thinking to myself, if they don't get the ball to Zach LaVine every time down, you know, and that was a little bit of a break for them. But, man, if I'm playing point for that team, I'm showing some patience and just giving him room to operate.
Caldwell makes the free throw. Something we talked about in the pregame with Chase Hughes as part of our coverage. This Wizards team already has been in more clutch situations than last year. Now, clutch defined by the NBA is 5 minutes or less left in a 5-point game. And suddenly it feels like we're heading in that direction.
We are heading in that direction.
Second free throw missed. Watkins claims the rebound. Then it's stolen away. But then stolen back by A.J. Johnson. LaVine stole it. Then A.J. Johnson stole it. 81-78 to score. Johnson, right elbow, going to the basket and denied. But, ball goes out of play. It's just King's ball. Wow. There's no foul.
A.J. Johnson just tried to bang it down on the whole Sacramento team, and I think he might have left too early because he threw it off the backboard and it went out of bounds.
Center circle, Malik Monk. Monk, left elbow, foul line. Gets in the paint, spins, fades at the foul line off the rim. Will Riley the rebound. 1:06 left in the third quarter. Here at Capital One Arena. Wizards by 3. Riley now top of the arc. Labissiere hands off to Riley. Riley spins, right elbow drives, right wing outside the arc. A.J. Johnson for 3. It's there. Oh, it's there. A.J. has 14. A little breathing room. 84-78 Wizards by 6. Now Watkins steal at midcourt to the basket. Right in. Windmill. 86-78. Watkins the steal and the slam. He just took it at midcourt, and the rest was all Jameer Watkins. 43 seconds left. LaVine right at the circle. Foul line to the basket, bank, and score. There's 8 30-point game now. A.J. Johnson comes up court. Oh, slam! 2 hands. No defense. 16 for A.J. Johnson. 88-80. 29 seconds left. All right, the Kings. Malik Monk. Guarded by Johnson at the Capital One Arena logo. There is an 8-second difference shot clock and game clock. Monk, right in the circle, looking to break down A.J. Johnson. Monk goes at Johnson, right block, right of the restricted arc, puts to the shot, no. Battle for the rebound. Plowden gets it, right wing Renault, 8 seconds. Out front Carter. Carter foul line to Renault, bank, no. Second effort, yes, by Maxime Renault. 88-82, 2 seconds left. Left side, midcourt, A.J. Johnson's attempt is short, and the Wizards will go to the fourth quarter with a 6-point lead.
You know, I was watching that last possession, and the ball's on the right side of the court. Zach LaVine's on the left side of the court, wide open. They didn't get him the ball. The way he's shooting it,
get on, man. Yep. All right, the Wizards, 6-point lead. Chase Hughes when we come back to Capital One Arena on this Sunday night. Thanks for being with us on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. A.J. Johnson back with Click. Crowd sorry. Hey, A.J. Johnson has 16 points. These young Wizards get a chance to play. Bill Riley included, Chase Hughes.
Yeah, so I told you guys recently how Will has studied Manu Ginobili's game extensively. That's not the only Spurs influence for him. Will also said he takes after Ginobili and guys like Tim Duncan when it comes to his quiet competitiveness. He believes the loudest guys aren't always the most competitive. And he certainly embodies that because he doesn't show much emotion on the court, but you can tell that Will is competitive because of his motor. And Glenn, I'm curious, does Riley remind you of a Spurs player with the way he plays?
Yeah, you know, I tell you what, I love his game, and he kind of gives you a little bit of Ginobili when he goes to the basket, but I don't don't know, man. Like, I just like him on defense, and I like his upside and his ability to get downhill. He gets downhill like Ginobili gets downhill.
DeRozan gets to his spot on the baseline, makes a jumper 88-84. It's back to a 4-point game as we start this fourth quarter. 88-84 Wizards. A.J. Johnson, right elbow, right block, gets under the basket, throws left wing. Watkins catch and shoot for three. It's there. Oh, that was a great pass and a great finish by Jameer Watkins. 91-84. Now left elbow Stevens, left corner DeRozan for three, drains it and answers right back. All right, 91-87, 4-point game. Right of the circle, A.J. Johnson. Johnson, left wing outside the arc, guarded by Isaiah Stevens. Hands off to Riley in the center circle. Riley, guarded by Daquan Plowden on the wing. Drives, left block, off 1 foot baseline, left scores. Will Riley finds a way. 93-87 Wizards, 10:49 to go here in the fourth quarter. Bounce pass. Right of lane, DeRozan rises, shoots, 19-footer, smooth over Watkins, and suddenly DeMar DeRozan, who didn't have a field goal in the first half, has 22 points and has all 7 Kings points this quarter. Now, this year's pass for Riley went off his back, but he got it right of the lane, drives, right block, flips to the shot, in and out and in.
Go to work.
Will Riley has 10, 95-89 Wizards.
Go to work, Will Riley. Get wherever he wants to go.
Left wing DeRozan, guarded by Watkins. Down to the left block, his back to Watkins. Turns, fades, no and one, but Watkins a foul. Again, DeMar DeRozan was 0 for 3 from the field at halftime. He had 8 of 9 from the free throw line, but he's made 6 field goals, 6 of 9 in the second half. It's good to have Faisal Hassan on board. It says he was here in a dunk contest in D.C. with A.J. Johnson and Jameer Watkins, as they had some great dunks. They closed the third quarter.
Well, you think about DeMar DeRozan this game, not scoring, not really himself. Blink of an eye, he's got 23 points. And we got a long way to go here in the fourth.
And that's just at the Kings. They may not have Domantas Sabonis. They don't have Russell Westbrook. They don't have Dennis Schroeder. But you got flat-out scorers in LaVine and DeRozan.
Yes.
And as much as
they're elite, they have been elite scorers in this league.
And there's so many ways we talk about this game, but scoring points is a key. All 9 this quarter belongs to DeRozan. 95-91 Wizards. 10:04 to go. Kings have not had a lead since the first quarter. Now the pass intended on the wing for A.J. Johnson, stolen by Devin Carter, but he lost it out of play.
Keep in mind, there's 9:56 left here in the fourth. Zach LaVine is not in the game, so they're giving him a little bit of a rest. Expect to see him at about the 7-8 minute mark.
Left sideline, just across midcourt. Sharif Cooper to inbound the ball for the Wizards. Guarded by Isaiah Stevens into Labissiere. Almost fell across the timeline, but back to Cooper. He gives it. Cooper left the circle. Labissiere at the point. Hands off Cooper. Downhill, right block. Switches hands. It was blocked by Reynaud. Now up court, Devin Carter. Carter goes at A.J. Johnson to the basket. No, but a foul by A.J. Johnson. Sharif did a good job getting right to the rim, but the problem was Maxime Reynaud was there. Now at the other end, Devin Carter will try to convert a couple of free throws. That's the first team foul in the fourth quarter. A.J. Johnson with his second personal. 95-91 the score. Again, as much as the Kings have been breathing down the Wizards' neck, the Wizards have not relinquished the lead. Game was tied at 11, and then the Wizards just took off from there. Carter's makes both. 95-93. Wizards. Yeah, driving, pull over, driveway, stay there. You want to hang around for this one. Enough fun now. Labissiere, top of the arc. Guarded by Reynaud. Couple dribbles. Hands off Sharif Cooper. Head to the circle. Cooper. Back to A.J. Johnson. Ball fake. Drives on Plowden to the basket. Ball knocked loose. Reynaud gets it. Then Labissiere intervenes. Feeds Riley. Right elbow. Going for the slam. Knocked away by DeRozan. DeRozan gets it. Head to Carter. Left elbow. Slam.
Wow.
Right in. knocks it back and throws it down. A 6-0 King run, and we're tied for the first time since it was 11-11.
See those turnovers, that last turnover, just going right at DeRozan, who stood his ground. He just slapped the ball away from Will Riley. You got to change direction when you go up against a guy like DeRozan.
All right, 95 all. We are tied here in Washington. Come on back on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Dave Johnson back with you as we are at Capital One Arena, tied at 95. Capital One. That brings you this broadcast. Offering checking and savings accounts with no fees or minimums. What's in your wallet? All right, nobody moves. We just pause 10 seconds. Station identification on the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
You're listening to Washington Wizards basketball on WFED Washington and W232DG Sterling. Federal News Network, your home for Wizards basketball.
Alan in Loudoun County brings up a good question about Glenn. He wants your thoughts on this. How Brian Keefe is using the bench, and when you think about it, and the Wizards have been transparent, they want to see players down the stretch. So, for example, Will Riley's played 21 minutes. A.J. Johnson, 18 minutes. Skull Labissiere getting 17 minutes tonight. So this, they're basically getting the same minutes the starters are getting.
Yes. And, look, this is we'll see. Look, we're at the 9-minute mark. We'll see if some of the starters come back in. But, this is an opportunity year. They said it in the beginning of the year, Dave. Opportunity to see what they have, what players they want to keep for next year, who can do what in pressure situations. But there's still plenty of time left in this game.
And the bench advantage, according to Jonathan Morris, our Director of Intelligence, is 40-18. 95 all the score. First tie since it was 11-11. Sharif Cooper working left to right. Trying by Isaiah Stevens. Cooper right of the center circle. Capital One Arena logo. Now Riley left the circle. Feed to Labissiere left at top of the key. Renault poking at him. Labissiere hands off. Dribble hand off to Cooper. Cooper foul line probes. Cooper pulls out 4 on the clock. Out front Johnson 2 on the clock. AJ drives, flips it up. Banks no. Rebound kept alive by Labissiere. And now the Kings. Isaiah Stevens bounce pass, cutting and slamming DeRozan, and the Kings have their first lead since the first quarter. 97-95 they lead. All right, Riley in the center circle. Left the circle. Feeds Labissiere in the center circle. Working left to right. Hands off Cooper. Sharif cuts to his right. Right of the lane. Baseline right. Feeds Labissiere. Foul line rises. Shoot, scores. All right, we're tied at 97. 8:12 to go. Fourth quarter is Isaiah Stevens through the center circle. Sharif Cooper on him. Working right to left the Kings. Out front to DeRozan. DeRozan at the point between the circles looking to break down Anthony Gill. Rocking the cradle. Top the key. Rises off the rim. No. Battle for the rebound. Labissiere gets it after it was tipped by Cooper. As he harassed Stevens for that rebound. Right wing outside the arc. Johnson for 3. Misses badly. A.J. Johnson has career high is 20. Again, he has 16 tonight. 97-97. We are tied with 7:44 to go. Ashmark left wing. Stevens for the Kings. DeRozan guarded by Gill. Into the center circle. Comes off a Stevens screen. Left elbow. Gill stays with him. Gill knocks the ball loose. Goes out of play. Did it go off DeRozan? It did.
Good defense.
Anthony Gill just wrestled. They're going to challenge at the Kings. But Anthony Gill just wrestled it away from DeRozan. But the call being challenged. All right, we're tied at 97. We'll see whose ball it is when we come back. But either way, Anthony Gill did the business against DeMar DeRozan. Hang on, gang, at Dave J Sports, at Glenn Consor on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Back with Glenn Consor and you at Capital One Arena. It's time for Steam Fitters UA. Brought to you by Steam Fitters UA Local 602. Providing the best mechanical services and process piping systems. Well, A.J. Johnson in 20 minutes is 7 of 12. Has 16 points. 2 of 4 beyond the arc. He's yet to go to the free throw line. And that's kind of a symptom of the Wizards. They're only 7 of 9 from the free throw line, while the Kings are 21 of 23. And the Kings are tied up with the Wizards 97 all, even though the Kings, while their shooting has improved to 46%. 56%, but the Wizards have made 6 more field goals than the Kings. But the Kings making up that difference at the free throw line is Robinhood brings you the official numbers. Robinhood, the official brokerage jersey patch sponsor of the Wizards. As Kevin McClain says, need to dial up that defense that has helped the Wizards win so many games. So Anthony Gill, instead of credit on the defense, gets charged with his 4th foul. It's not shooting. 97 score. The Kings will have the ball. Hey, good to have Wayne Nicholson. Say hello to your beautiful family, as he's coming out with the family on Tuesday.
Yes, he is.
I've been with Wayne a long, long time, and serves Montgomery County Police in such a wonderful way. Now out front, DeRozan, top of the key, left elbow spin, shoots over Gill, scores, and the Kings have their first lead since the first quarter. 13 this quarter for DeMar DeRozan, and we caution a lead scores can make a difference, and he is right now. This year, top of the arc, hands off to Sharif Cooper, 99-97 Kings. Riley, hash mark on the left wing, drives to his left, into a crowd, lost the ball, recovers, feeds Labissiere, 2 on the clock, bounce pass, Cutting Johnson hangs in the air, and he's fouled by Naquan Plowden. 99-97 Kings. But like A.J. Johnson, I mean, aggressive, cutting. And he qualifies as one of those players that is going to take advantage of this time and say, hey,
absolutely,
look at me. You want to keep me? What's my future in the NBA?
Let me show you what I can do tonight.
A former first-round pick.
No relation to you.
No. 99-98. Johnson is rather a common name. Johnson missed the second. Reno gets the rebound. When I check in the hotels, they say, are you the Dave Johnson from? I said, well, what room is he at? Even center circle, Reno, hash mark on the right wing. Bounce pass to DeRozan, right at the top of the guarded by Gill. 7 on the clock. DeRozan, right at the top of the over Gill, shoots off the rim, bounce around. And we have a whistle.
Somebody touched the rim? No.
Bill Riley a foul. It almost, I agree with you.
It looks like somebody hit the net or something.
But the call was a foul on Riley. This is troublesome. The Wizards have 4 team fouls. The Kings only have 1. Kings lead by 1 point, 99-98 with 6:43 left. Levine is back in. Renault right at the top of the key. Levine now, top of the key. Bounce pass Renault. Right block. Slips of a shot. Short. Air ball caught by Sharif Cooper under the basket. Working left to right. Cooper on the left wing. Probes. Foul line. Gets the paint. Denied by DeRozan. Back out to Riley. Riley on the dribble. Off a Gill screen. Riley gets downhill. Right of the restricted arc. Out front, A.J. Johnson travels as he went to drive.
Second time he's done that on the catch. Happy feet.
That's his 7th turnover, so certainly you applaud him for his offensive production tonight, but the 7 turnovers, very much an Achilles. 99-98 Kings. Working right to left, Zach LaVine. Left the circle, guarded by Will Riley. LaVine. Throws now to DeRozan, left the lane. Sharif Cooper is on him. DeRozan holding the ball right hand, starts to dribble, back up front to Levine. Levine goes at Riley, spins, couple pump fakes, fades, top of the arc for 3, no. Goes out of play.
Well, he's cooled down a little bit, Zach Levine.
Again, he had 18 of 22 points in the second quarter. 99-98 Kings, 5:58 to go, fourth quarter. All right, can these young Wizards make a difference? Cooper right of the circle. On the back pass, Labissiere, top of the arc. Labissiere trying to spread it past Anthony Gill. Cutting baseline, it was a kick ball. But to Alan's point from Loud Cut, the Wizards are staying with his young guys.
Yes.
Giving them a chance to learn. And we talked about the Wizards team already involved in more clutch moments this year than all of last year. Cooper out front, top of the arc, top of the key. Behind him, A.J. Johnson. Back to Cooper, 7 on the clock. Cooper, stop, start, right elbow, crossover. Right on the top of the key, fade. fades off the rim. No. And Levine the rebound. 1 point Kings lead. Levine right of the circle. Top of the arc. Trailing DeRozan. Hash mark left wing. Denied by Gill, the paint. On the left wing, it's Stevens. Back to DeRozan. Left the lane. Crossover. 15-footer off the rim and in. The shooter's touch. 15 this quarter for DeRozan. Kings lead 101-98. Their biggest lead was 5 at 7-2. A.J. Johnson. Hash mark on the left wing. Top of the arc. Foul line. Right corner. Labissiere for 3. No. Rebound Riley. Bank. No. But he draws a foul. Good hustle. Good hustle by Will Riley with exactly 5 minutes left and the Wizards down by 3.
You know, Chase Hughes brought up a good point with Will Riley, admiring and idolizing a guy like Manu Ginobili and paying attention to the way he plays. That play reminded me of Manu Ginobili. Just coming out of nowhere, flying in for an offensive rebound and then getting fouled. Little things like that. He's got that nose for the ball that Ginobili had.
Riley makes it 101-99. Riley has played 25 minutes tonight. Foul was on Isaiah Stevens. 11 points, now 12. All right, 1 point game. 1 point game. 5 minutes left. 101-100 Kings. In the backcourt, Stevens pressured by Cooper. Almost lost the ball. Just gets across the timeline, but it'll be Sharif Cooper with a foul as he had him boxed in between the sideline and the midcourt stripe. But the problem, that's the 5th team foul for the Wizards. Kings only have 2 team fouls. 4:50 left. Now, free throw shooting is already a difference in this game. As Kings are 21 of 23, the Wizards are only 10 of 13. So Isaiah Stevens goes line to shoot 2. And of course, cheers coming because Brickin' for Chicken from Chick-fil-A. If Stevens misses both, and it almost went out, but he makes the first. So
it's the round.
Timeout, Brian Keefe and the Wizards. All right, hang in there, gang. Kings lead by 2, 102-100 on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Dave Johnson back with the Gwynn Consor here at Capital One Arena. And as we always like to remind you, we're brought to you by Capital One, offering no fees or checking or no minimums. Capital One, what's in your wallet? We hope it's Capital One. And our good friends at Monumental Sports teaming up with Sinego Mayos on this new Veteran Assist program. Every assist the Wizards have this season, Sinego Mayos will donate $25 to a great organization, the Vigilant Torch Foundation, that helps support our nation's veterans. And we need to support our nation's veterans each and every day. And it's a total of $650 going to the Vigilant Torch Foundation because the Wizards have 26 assists tonight.
So far.
Right, and there could be more coming. We certainly hope. 102-100 Kings, 4:50 to go in the fourth quarter. Glenn Consor just likes to laugh at my math. But since I want to get this right.
No, you did. You did.
I could be giving away your raise.
You know what? I usually get those things wrong when I hit my calculator. It doesn't matter what I have. I'm going to get the math equation wrong. I was never good at math.
Isaiah Stevens makes the free throw. 103-100 Kings. 4:50 to go in the fourth quarter. All right, working left to right. A.J. Johnson. By Bowden as he crosses midcourt. Right elbow driving. Cutting and slamming. Labissiere. Labissiere. Comes from baseline left. 1 point game. 103-102. Levine now. Right in the circle. Guarded out front by Riley. Pass marking left wing to DeRozan. DeRozan off of Renault screen. Right elbow. Right corner Stevens. On the right wing Levine looking to break down Riley. Drives. Gets into the strict guard. Splits the defenders. Misses the layup. He got in between 2 defenders and right to the glass. Will Riley gets called for the foul, and it will be Zach LaVine at the free throw line. Good to have Yup listing on the Wizards app tonight. Sam has put out the hashtag Finish Strong. And Yup says, see us Tuesday. Yes, so when you come to a game, stop by section 216, where we broadcast from, as LaVine makes the free throw. 104-102 Kings. And the Wizards seems every indication they are going to ride this young group.
Yes.
105-102. A.J. Johnson, center circle. Looking to break down Plowden up front. Hash mark left wing Riley. Riley spins out front of a Labissiere screen for three. In and out and in. It is there. Will Riley, a DC3, ties his season high with 15, and he's tied the game at 105. Center circle now, Levine. Hash mark left wing DeRozan. 3:50 left in the game. DeRozan off a Renault screen, top of the key. Foul line, shoots over Labissiere, swish. 17 this quarter for DeMar DeRozan. 17 of his 30. 107-105. 17 of his 32, but who's counting? A.J. Johnson, edge of the circle, left elbow, left corner of Labissiere. Hands off to Riley. Riley down to the baseline left, cut off by Renault. 9 on the clock. Gets out to the left elbow, spins, flips up a shot, air ball. He spun and didn't have enough mustard on the shot. The air ball caught by the Kings. Zach LaVine. The Kings leading 107-105. Top of the arc. Pulls back edge of the circle. Now cuts to his right. Right of the foul line. DeRozan. Down low Renault. Bank and score. Bank and score. 109-105 Kings.
Wizards are chasing now. They're going to need some deflections. That was a direct pass right inside with no resistance.
Labissiere crosses midcourt. Hand off to Sharif Cooper. Cooper crossover. Cuts to his left. Back up front Labissiere for three. It's there. Oh, it finds a home. And the Wizards within 109-108. 2:42 to go in the fourth. And this young squad is trying to make it happen. Levine, hash marked on the right wing. Top of the arc. Bounce pass to DeRozan. Goes at Anthony Gill. DeRozan is back to Gill. Backs in left block. Turns. Fades left the lane. No. Rebound brought in by Sharif Cooper. Yeah, it's names you might not be that familiar with that are trying to secure this win. Cooper cuts to his left. Back up front, Labissiere. Right wing, A.J. Johnson. Ball fake. Right elbow. Gets in the paint. Labissiere, top of the arc. Left wing, Riley. Steps to his left. Shoots a three. It's there. The extra step. The extra point. The Wizards take the lead. 111-109. And Riley's career high is now 18.
Let me tell you something. This is an opportunity for the young players to show this organization, not just Brian Keefe, what they can do. And hear me out here. Will Riley is a flat-out baller. He is a closer. He just knows how to get stuff done.
And I think it's significant if the Wizards somehow can secure this win.
Yes.
The Kings have elite, proven scorers on the floor. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
The Wizards do not.
No, and you know what? Also, Dave, we haven't seen Justin Champagnie tonight.
Good point. Good point. Can the Wizards pull this off? Back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. All right, 2:06 left. Wizards 111, Kings 109. Again, if you're puzzled, the Wizards not going back to starters like Bilal Coulibaly or Chris Middleton or Keyshawn George, Bub Carrington and Marvin Bagley. They talked at midseason, which we're at, of wanting to get a look at so many players in critical situations.
You're right on there. We just heard it. And this is an opportunity time.
Left on top of the Isaiah Stevens. Zach LaVine, hash mark right wing. 5 on the clock. Deep three off the back of the iron. Long rebound. Chased down by the Kings. DeRozan. A minute 41 to go. Lob for Renault. Left block. Backs on Riley. Riley ends up going down. And a blocking foul by Will Riley. So Renault will shoot two. Now, we'll look at the replay here. As Renault backed into Riley. He was outside the restricted arc. I don't know about that. Maybe Riley collapsed too easily.
Well, Riley, he got out of it. He kind of pulled the chair a little bit. And he just came right down on Riley.
Renault at the line to shoot two. 111-109 Wizards. A minute 37 left. Free throw missed by Renault. And excitement over free chicken. Always reigns supreme, it seems. Another one coming from Maxime Renault. More importantly, now he makes the free throw. 1 point game with a minute 37 left. 111 111-110. Full court pressure by the Sacramento Kings.
We got another clutch time game here.
Lob for Labissiere to beat the press.
Dangerous pass.
Hands off to Cooper. Left the circle. The Wizards only have one timeout. Kings only have one timeout. Into the circle, A.J. Johnson. Started out front by Nick Clifford. Back to Labissiere, top of the arc. Hands off to Riley. Riley, top of the key, cutting Labissiere, left the stick arc. Spins, jump puck, scores! Labissiere has 13, and the Wizards lead 113-110.
He is making big shots, and Will Riley got the assist on that play.
Into the circle now, DeRozan. Back up from Levine. Chance of defense here at Capital One Arena. Floor is spread. 8 on the clock. Levine. Left elbow. Left side lane. Couple pump fake shoots. No. Gill the rebound as he misses about a 13-footer. Big possession here. The Wizards, this group leads 113-110. 48 seconds left. Sharif Cooper at 37 last night for the Go-Go. Cuts to his left. Left elbow. Feeds right wing outside the arc. A.J. Johnson for 3. Rims out. Rebound. Cooper and scores! Sharif Cooper, the smallest guy on the floor, with the biggest moment of the game. 115-110. Cooper the putback. A 10-1 run by the Wizards. Oh my! You love this effort, and teammates are mobbing Sharif Cooper.
Well, what an outstanding, gritty, tough play. Sharif Cooper belongs in this league, and he just showed why. A tremendous offensive rebound and putback, and I thought he got fouled on that play as well.
Back in just 30 seconds. Nobody move on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Dave Johnson back with the Glenn Contour. Our Director of Intelligence, Jonathan Morris, says Will Riley, 18 points, new career high, 6 rebounds, new career high, 4 3-pointers, new career high, 5 assists, ties. Now 6 assists, so a new career high. Bench points for the Wizards, 60-20 advantage on the Kings, as the Wizards bench are trying to win this game.
A.J. Johnson logged in 27 minutes. Labissiere, 26 minutes. Will Riley, 29 minutes. And these guys are getting playing time.
All 6-1 of Sharif Cooper. That rebound, the putback. But still a lot of time. 37 seconds. Stevens into the circle. DeRozan out front. Ball fake guarded by Cooper. Right corner driving Levine. Stuff. From the corner to the basket. 35 for Zach Levine. Full court pressure by the Kings.
That's exactly what Sacramento wanted. A quick bucket there.
A.J. Johnson bracing up court. Top of the arc as he beats the press. Circles the hash mark right wing. Center circle Cooper. And he's fouled out front by Maxime Reynaud. 1:15-112. That'll be the first and last 2 minutes on the Sacramento Kings. So it'll be side out for the Wizards on the left sideline. There is a 6-second difference between the shot clock and game clock, Johan. 22 seconds left in the game, 16 on the clock. Wizards by 3. Kings are out of timeouts. The Wizards have 1 timeout left. A.J. Johnson left sideline. Into the backcourt it goes to Cooper. And there's a 6-second difference shot clock, game clock. Cooper in the center circle. Now goes at Stevens. Foul line. Ball knocked loose. Levine gets it. Levine, 10 seconds. Levine comes up court. Hash mark right wing for 3. No. Rebound. Volleyball's at Cooper. 4 seconds. And a foul by the Kings. The Wizards, with 3.5 seconds left, might be about to secure the victory.
Wow. I saw Levine
with a
go up, and he's a jump shooting 3. I mean, he left the ground. Nobody was near him, and he just missed it. But it was far. I thought he could have got it, maybe a little closer.
Sharif Cooper was a player fouled. Nick Clifford committed the foul. Had to. So Sharif was, as I said, the Go-Go's leading scorer last night. Oh, that's a big miss. 115-112.
This thing's not over.
No.
Got to make this here.
And Cooper tonight with 4 points. 37 last night for the Go-Go. Second free throw good.
Those are his only 2 free throws of the season.
116-112. Midcourt Levine off the back of the iron. No. And yes, for the Wizards win. The bench did it. 116-112. Let's salute Skull Sharif Cooper, Jameer Watkins, A.J. Johnson, Will Riley, and Anthony Gill. They secured the win.
Yeah, and you know what, Dave? An unlikely hero, Sharif Cooper.
Yep.
Unlikely. Who would have thought that he would make the play of the game to close it out?
All right, Cooper, a game high, 7 rebounds in 13 minutes.
And he's the shortest guy on the court.
6'1".
Yep.
He's 6'1".
And that's generous.
Wow. All right, lots more to come. Our Michelob Ultra post-game show from Capital One Arena this time. We have a guest coming up. As, again, this is part of the Wizards' plan. They want to get a look at these young players, some of the players that they haven't already had to look at. As, of course, tonight, Justin Champagnie did not play. Malachi Branham did not play. I think we are getting a glimpse more and more. We're going to see different combinations.
Yes, we are. That's what we're going to see.
And you have to, as you've got to find out. There's so many young players on this Wizards team. We talk all the time. We use the number 10 players under the age of 22. But you've got to make decisions between now and the offseason. Who is going to be a part of this team going forward? 115-110 the score. The final tonight is a Kings team. Give them credit for fighting back as they were down by 17 and they were without some key players tonight. We're about to be joined by A.J. Johnson as A.J. coming through, part of that bench unit with 17 points tonight. A.J., you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, let's just take me through another clutch situation as you guys secured the win, and this is just another growth moment. How was it for you?
No, it felt great, getting out there with my teammates again, just competing, it just felt the best out there, just playing with them. But yeah, it's just been a big emphasis on us just fighting no matter what, no matter the score, no matter the record, and I feel like we just came out there and did that.
AJ, the organization obviously giving you guys an opportunity to see what you can do, closing out games in a game like this. The starters weren't in, but you guys were.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
No, I feel great, honestly, just getting the opportunity to go out there and play and just show what I can do and just play with my teammates. Like I said, it's just fun. It's all basketball at the end of the day, so we just enjoying our time out there and just trying to compete.
Now, AJ, you see Sharif Cooper all the time play, and it didn't seem to surprise you to see him get that big offensive rebound.
Yeah, no, not at all.
The shortest guy on the court. What did you think when he got that offensive rebound and put it back in?
No, I was surprised, but no, Reef is super smart. He definitely knows where the ball was going to go, so I'm not really surprised at all that he ended up reading it where it was at. But no, that was a great finish.
Quickly, how important is, because Sharif Cooper, for example, had 37 last night for the Go-Go.
Yeah.
You have played some for the Go-Go. How important is the Go-Go to help you get to where you want to go?
Yeah, no, I think it's very important. Honestly, just getting reps, honestly, just seeing the game and just, just competing, going out there. I feel like it definitely translates to the actual NBA games. So I think that's great for us.
So go enjoy this. That's our order. Go enjoy this.
Appreciate that. Thank you. You guys too.
116-110. The Wizards win over the Sacramento Kings tonight. We'll come back at just after the Michelob Ultra post-game show. And Chase Hughes, also his thoughts on the way. As we're not done yet. Back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
Now, as you heard, we had an inkling that something was up when the Wizards were without C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert Wednesday night on the second half of a back-to-back against the 76ers. Well, now we know the real reason why, and it's been made official. The Wizards have traded C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert to the Atlanta Hawks for four-time All-Star point guard Trae Young. The 27-year-old Young is third all-time in the NBA in career assist average, averaging nearly 10 assists per game for his entire Atlanta Hawks tenure. And he's also an over 25-point-per-game scorer in 493 career games. Young is on the fourth year of a 5-year, $215 million contract. He has a player option next season for the fifth year of the contract. Young's most notable season came in the 2020-21 campaign when he led the Atlanta Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals and within just 2 games of the NBA Finals. And the Wizards are plenty familiar with Trae Young's game. After all, his first 7 seasons in the league were against a division rival. So Young had the opportunity to torment DC 4 times a season, including on January 26, 2020, when he had his best game against the Wizards.
Second free throw was good. 75-72 Hawks. 3.8 to go. Baseball pass up court by Bertans. It's broken up, intended for Beal. Young gets it. Young just beyond midcourt. Launch for this. Just beyond midcourt in the center circle, makes it 78-72. Oh, he knew what he was doing. That's probably going to count. And Trae Young showing why he is an all-star starter. Out front, Reddish. Reddish back, left wing Young, long distance three, got it. And looks skyward. Trae Young almost needed a ticket for that shot, 103-78.
That's right. On the day of Kobe Bryant's tragic passing, Trae Young put on a show in honor of one of his idols by torching the Wizards for 45 points and 14 assists. And Chris Wright thinks the change of scenery could be exactly what Young needs to get his proper respect.
I feel like Trae Young is that guy that never really got his respect. He came in the Eastern Conference where the guards were heavy. It was a heavy, dominant Kyrie Irving era and things of that nature, so he got overlooked. Teams weren't that good, didn't make a few All-Star games, even though he's averaged 29 points and 10 assists. So he's always been an elite-level talent. He got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe just needs to change the scenery, and him wanting to come to D.C. says a lot. Says a lot for us as fans, says a lot for us as a Wizards organization, and says a lot for him. So hopefully that gives him a motivation to come out here and try to help us and lead this team. We got a great group of young guys to lead, and we were able to keep our young core, and that's something that's special. And hopefully, I'm excited, DC. My brother's a big Trae Young fan. I'm excited to see Trae Young here and finally get some star power in the building. It's cool.
Now, when we'll first get a look at that star power remains to be seen. Young has been dealing with knee and quad injuries for the majority of this season, only appearing in 10 games so far for Atlanta. We know that he will not play tonight against New Orleans. We're not sure when he will make his debut, but he is expected to play for the Wizards at some point this season. And whenever he does suit up for the district, he will provide something that has been sorely lacking for the Wizards this season and the past couple seasons, really, and that is primary playmaking. Keyshawn George and Bub Carrington are the leaders in assists per game for this Wizards team. They combine to average 9.5 per game. And that's a nice number, and it speaks to the development of young players within this organization to learn how to both be finishers and creators. But that's still your 2 leading assist men combining to average fewer assists per game than Young has averaged his entire career. Young's elite-level playmaking could hopefully unlock a Wizards offense that has lagged in the bottom half of offensive rating since the end of the John Wall era, and he might be able to increase things like Alex Sarr's efficiency at the rim with his ability to set up lobs for alley-oops. We might hopefully see him create easier three-point looks for Trey Johnson, Keyshawn George, and Bub Carrington. And when all these young players have better opportunities, hopefully they'll become even more efficient. The biggest question with Trae Young's game has always been on the defensive end. Just like the Hawks' offense was much better with him on the court, the defense would take a dip when he played. However, the Wizards have leaned into drafting defensive-minded players over the years, as Alex Sarr and Bilal Coulibaly are already stalwarts on that end, so the hope is that they will be able to support Trae on the defensive end, just like he will lift them all up on the offensive end with his elite playmaking presence. The other side of the coin is the Wizards have to say goodbye to C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert, who were both great pros for the team in their differing tenures. Kispert, the 15th overall pick in the 2021 draft for Washington, departs the district after 311 career games, holding a career scoring average of 11 points per game on 48% shooting from the floor and 38% from three. C.J. McCollum's tenure was only 35 games long, but he leaves D.C. averaging 19 points per game and seemingly leaving behind endless nuggets of wisdom for the young core. But now the Wizards look forward, they look onward, they look ahead, and when Trae Young will make his Wizards debut, that is still to be determined as he continues to deal with the knee and quad injuries that have limited him to just 10 games so far this season. You're listening to Wizards Radio 24/7.
I just want to dominate. They have the potential.
The Wizards have done it.
have the good players. They have the coaching.
They have given the nation's capital a reason to smile again.
Go Wizards.
Unbelievable.
Wizards Radio 24/7.
All right, Chase Hughes, you're with us.
I am, and I want to talk about Marvin Bagley. He had a strong first half against his former team, and we've talked about how he's putting up some of the best numbers of his career. His assist numbers, for instance, are way up. He's also having his best season at generating free throws. His free throw rate, which is the number of free throw attempts per field goal attempt, is at 40%, which is a career high. And for context on how high of a number that is, it's right at DeMar DeRozan's career average. DeRozan is well known for getting to the line and, of course, is on the opposing team tonight.
This is Dave Johnson, voice of the Washington Wizards, and we are so glad you're locked in right here on Wizards Radio 24/7.
I love the game, fast-paced game.
What is the latest with the Wizards? What happened this morning at shoot-around? Is this player going to start? Not going to start?
I love the superstars.
What is the matchup like? The key matchup for the game? That's what you're going to find. The very latest
Ball movement, shots, dunks. What's not to love about it?
The scouting report. You will have some of the notes that we can share with you.
I love the game, man. Love the game.
24/7. You get the latest on the Washington Wizards, and I do mean the latest.
Wizards Radio 24/7 is the best app you can get. Wizards Radio 24/7.
On January 9th, it all became official. Trae Young acquired by the Washington Wizards in exchange for C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert. And some of the instant reaction came to you on the Michelob Ultra postgame show, where myself and Chris Wright gave our thoughts on the trade.
I think as an organization, we have a long-term plan, and we're not going to do anything that deviates from that. As I kind of explained earlier, I think Trae fits into what we're trying to do based on the development of a lot of the other players and how he's going to help amplify them. So we're always going to be, like I said, opportunistic. And when you have a four-time All-Star, All-NBA player available who wants to come to DC and help make it what we want it to be, it was an easy partnership and an easy decision, to be honest with you.
Dare we call it the Capital One easiest decision, not of the game, but of the transaction season, shall we say, as that was General Manager Will Dawkins earlier today talking about the Wizards trading for Trae Young. It became official, the four-time All-Star with the Atlanta Hawks, now a member of the Wizards. C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert sent to Atlanta. No draft compensation exchanged either way. Brian Albin, Chris Wright with you here on the Michelob Ultra Post Game Show as the Wizards fall to the Pelicans 128-107, in part because the Wizards a little bit short-handed tonight because of that trade. You lose C.J. McCollum, you lose Corey Kispert, the player you traded for not available to play in Trae Young. That showed up certainly on the offensive end on a night where the Wizards struggled. But Chris, want to just lock in more on the trade itself. And one of the things I thought is we were watching the game tonight, and as you referenced, we were hearing Jordan Poole get booed. How funny that Jordan Poole is in the building on the night where Trae Young gets introduced, because Trae Young arriving here is part of the transaction tree that Jordan Poole was a part of, right?
Yeah.
It goes from Bradley Beal to Chris Paul,
right.
From Chris Paul to Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole brings you C.J. McCollum. C.J. McCollum, the centerpiece in a trade that eventually brings you Trae Young. This has been something building over time as the Wizards are trying to look to acquire star talent. And today they bring in a star and no draft compensation goes the other way.
Right. One thing great about the Washington Wizards, what they've been able to do at that point guard position is flip. They've been able to turn this over, get this guy, turn this over to something else, and turn it to more value to the point now where we have a potential cornerstone of our franchise for the next 5-6 years, depending on how it goes. Now, what I like about this Trae Young fit and Trae Young coming to DC is he wants to be here. You know, and I heard him in his press conference. You heard him say how underrated of a city this is. And I'm a Washingtonian. I've been here, so I'm a little biased. But I do think as a city and as a market, this is a major market if approached the right way. And with him approaching it that way and understanding that this can be something, it's a diamond in the rough. We have a great organization that C.J. McCollum alluded to 1,000 times. We have a great young core, and he's coming in here he's still young, and he still has a lot of game left in him, and he has a chance to really put his imprint on a whole city. So I think he's taking a major gamble on himself, and I like it. This is like old school. I'm not going to go team up with anybody else. I'm going to go set my own standards, set my own rules. And I think Trae Young is built for this. If you watch him throughout the game, you see him jumping off the bench. He's helping people up off the floor. He's cheering his teammates up. He's giving people five. So I think that adding him, Trae Young, who's a bona fide leader, a bona fide, superstar in this league, just does so much for the growth of our young guys, does so much for Trey Johnson, does so much for Keyshawn George, does so much for Alex Sarr, does so much for Bilal Coulibaly, to the point where it allows them to almost play bigger and stronger than they were in the past. The same way the same way Trae Young was in Atlanta and how he helped Jalen Johnson and guys of that nature, I think the same thing will happen here.
I think when you talk about Trae Young coming to D.C., we can look at it in two different vantage points. And the first is the Washington Wizards franchise this century. When they've had success, what have they had? They've had a true lead guard, point guard, who is not just a playmaker for others, but also a scorer.
Yes.
Whether it was Gilbert Arenas in the 2000s, John Wall in the 2010s, and the one time they made the playoffs so far this decade, you had Russell Westbrook, able to create for others, but also score the basketball. They haven't had that type of player in
Rod
5
Strickland
years.
Before that.
And Rod Strickland in the 90s, yes. So, no player like a Trae Young at the point guard position since Westbrook.
Right.
They've had nice facilitators like a Monte Morris and a Tyus Jones, but they can't give you the scoring punch.
We've never had this level of scoring and assists in the point guard position from anybody, if you think about it. And productivity-wise, like if you think about it, even John is 19 and 10. This is almost 30 points, and this is 28 points and 11 assists. This
25 and 10 for his career.
So this is at a whole different level, a whole different pace. So it'll be interesting. Like you said, we've always been successful having one of these type of guards in that position.
And then the other vantage point of what makes this deal interesting is that the Wizards have been very intentional since Will Dawkins, Michael Winger took over. They wanted positional size.
Yes.
They wanted length. They wanted guys who were maybe defensive minded first. Now, Trae Young is going to come here, and he does not necessarily have a defensive reputation. The Wizards know that. They acknowledge that. They're going to continue to work with him on his defense, but they think they've built the infrastructure around him that they can still have a good defensive team and that his offense can unlock the rest of the roster on that end of the floor.
Oh, yeah. If you look at the roster that's around Trae, this is why it makes the most sense, because there's nothing but length and athleticism around him. You go first you start with Bilal. Then you go to Will Riley. Then you got Trae. You got Keyshawn, Alex. There's nothing but length and athleticism around him. So this can camouflage a lot of things. You're going to keep, if I was playing against the Wizards, I would try to put Trae Young in pick and rolls. But it's so much length and athleticism, it still shrinks the court. So it's not like that he's going to be on the island by himself and he can't do anything. So, and if he looked at it, and then he also has Travis Schlenk here as well, so that he's familiar with, I think it's just a very common diamond in the rough, and it took a lot of analyzing for him to see that this was really a good fit for him. And they're now, I think, one or two pieces away from being a real contender in 2 or 3 years.
Travis Schlenk is the connection that most people made as soon as the deal was done, but also Will Dawkins reminded us today that Trae Young was a kid from Norman, Oklahoma, coming to Oklahoma City games as a kid. While Will Dawkins was in that front office, he was very familiar with Trae Young and the Young family as well. So we are patiently and eagerly awaiting Trae Young's debut. We don't know when that will be as he continues to recover from both knee and quad ailments that have only allowed him to play in 10 games so far this season. But when he gets out on the court, the Wizards fans today in the house showed him they're excited and ready.
But I'm a DC native, so I love all DC sports. Oh, DC family, DC Rising, all of that. Redskins, Caps, Wizards, Nationals.
The Wizards have given the nation's capital a reason to smile again.
Go Wizards! We're here on Wizards Radio 24/7.
Dave Johnson back, and best defensive quarter for the Wizards all season, holding the Kings to 14 points. And on the subject of defense, Chase, I think Jamir Watkins is on your mind.
Yeah, so I told you guys earlier this season how Watkins had approached C.J. McCollum in training camp to ask him about C.J.'s former teammate, Herb Jones, and what makes him a great defender. Well, it turns out Jahmir did the same thing with Chris Middleton. He wanted to know all about Jrue Holiday, mainly what he does behind the scenes that has made him one of the most decorated defensive guards of his generation. Holiday is a 6-time all-defense selection, so Jahmir is very smart to be asking those kind of questions.
Well, and this is what you love about this Wizards team. I know you've been around at Chase and you, Glenn. These guys just want to learn.
Yeah, they want to learn. Yeah.
We're walking right behind a very tall guy. What is this? This is our man on stilts. We usually come out at the beginning of the game and welcome everybody coming into the stadium.
My name is Stretch. I'm 7'5", and let's go Wizards on Wizards Radio 24/7.
Wizards win tonight, 116-112. And Chris Wright, I'm going to pose this question to you. If I would have said to you, coming into this game, that the Wizards would close out against the Kings with DeRozan and Zach LaVine on the floor in the fourth quarter with a team of Anthony Gill, Will Riley, A.J. Johnson, Labissiere, and Sharif Cooper, would you believe me?
Not at all. Not at all. And not only would I not believe you, but I wouldn't believe that we won the game and won the game the way we did.
Yep.
You know, I think you have to kind of give a lot of kudos to the guys that played. Scott Labissiere, Sharif Cooper.
They all played well.
They played exceptionally well. A.J. Johnson, Will Riley, they really contributed across. If you look, even Sharif Cooper, he played 13 minutes. He had 7 rebounds.
Amazing. Shortest guy on the floor. And made the play of the game.
Made the play of the game. The putback layup he got in.
And he got fouled on that play, too.
Yeah, he did. And he sealed the game with a free throw. So, you saw a lot of positive things out of guys that have been supporting their teammates and been in the field with them working. So it was good to see them get an opportunity and have a successful opportunity.
Well, you hit the word on the head with opportunity because, we know this time of year, this is going to be an opportunity, and the Wizards have made no bones about it. They're going to put out different players.
Right.
They're going to put out different lineups. This was a night where, the starters didn't play in the fourth quarter, and Champagnie didn't play.
Right.
No
Alex Sarr.
No Alex Sarr. Or Trey. And they gave that group that I just mentioned, Sharif, Labissiere, A.J. Johnson, Will Riley, and Anthony Gill.
I was going to say Anthony Gill actually didn't score a point, but his impact on the game and his way he defended DeMar DeRozan. Now, he played an exceptional game, and you can't stop him. He's a 30,000-point scorer for his career.
Right.
But he made him shoot some tough shots at times, and that's the only thing you can ask for.
Yes, he did. And it was, you know what? And I want to talk about Will Riley when we come back because we got to get to a break. But I'm going to just leave it at this. Will Riley needs more minutes.
He does.
Will Riley is a flat-out baller.
Yes, he is.
Will Riley is a flat-out closer. Will Riley has a tremendous nose for the ball and knows how to play that he is making a statement, I think, to the organization. And I know, Chris, that he's young, he's 19, and his body's not kicked in yet. But man, do I love how he plays.
I agree. He has the intangibles, man. He just has a knack for being in the right place at the right time. He's in the right spot for a jump shot. He makes the right cuts. He makes the right passes. Yes. Defensively, he's in the right situation. Even when he makes mistakes, they're still in the situation where you're supposed to make the correct play.
Right.
So everything with him is trending upward. It's just a matter of him continuing to get better, continue to get more calm. I even saw more emotion out of him today. You don't see a lot of Will probably said 5 words the entire season so much. And I saw a lot of emotion out of him.
I agree.
He looked really good.
He did really look good. We're going to talk about also a couple of things we also saw from some of the guys like a Sharif Cooper and Labissiere, who I thought played a very, very, very strong game. All right, Wizards win tonight, 116 the game. Somebody was going to come out of here with their 13th win, and the Washington Wizards did. Wizards win 116-112.
And now the Wizards have a chance to finish up the 5-game homestand at 4-1 if they can beat the New York Knicks Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage will start at 5:45 with the Wizards Power Hour on Wizards Radio 24/7.
Everybody eats, fellas. Doesn't matter who gets the ball, who shoots it, who passes it. We just worried about getting the bucket and running the score up as much as possible, but getting stops on the defensive end. And everybody contributed. Everybody eats. Everybody eats.
This is Wizards Radio 24/7.
That's the reason I'm a Wizards fan.
we are feeling festive here on the Wizards Power Hour. Wizards Radio 24/7. Wizards down in Charlotte to take on the Hornets, the final game before the Christmas holiday. And so to help us get into the spirit for tonight's game, who better to talk to than the radio analyst for your Washington Wizards, Glenn Consor. Glenn, how you doing today?
Ho, ho, ho. Happy holidays.
There we go. And as the song that we just came in with suggests, we are going to give you all today our Wizards Christmas list. It's a tradition that I've had going the past few seasons on the Wizards Power Hour. I want to bring Glenn Consor into it today. And what we're each going to do, we're going to talk about a couple things we'd like to see this Wizards team improve on as we go beyond the holiday season into the new year and start to climb towards the second half of the season. You game for it, Glenn?
I am ready.
All right, so I'm going to have you lead the way. Guests always go first on the Wizards Power Hour.
Okay. What I would like to see post-Christmas or as a Christmas present to all of us is just a better job on the glass, especially the defensive glass, just having more of an opportunity to stay in games by limiting second chance opportunities. I think that is my number one wish list. I have others, but aside from obviously staying healthy, but I think from a basketball standpoint, the defensive glass, limiting second chance opportunities. How about you?
Well, first, just to touch on yours, I do feel like we've, seen a bit of a better job of late on the boards, and I don't think it's coincidental that, we're getting to see a lot of Marvin Bagley and Justin Champagnie over the past 2-3 weeks or so, and they're probably the two best pound-for-pound rebounders on this team. I wonder if you'd agree with that.
Absolutely. I still think Justin Champagnie has got to be in the top 5 pound-for-pound offensive rebounders in the NBA.
Yeah, so I do wonder if, your wish list is going to start in a good light because those two have been seeing some more minutes of late. For me, I want to see the Wizards improve in the area of both forcing turnovers and scoring points off turnovers. They're only forcing about 12 turnovers per game. In turn, they score 14 points off turnovers per game, both of which are last in the league. And the reason why I want to see that particular stat change is that, the Wizards have had a very specific strategy of the talent they acquire the past few off seasons. They've been putting that, prioritization on positional size in the draft, in free agency, so that they can put 5 bodies on the court that are long and rangy with good athleticism. And in my mind, those are the physical attributes that should be ideal in the purpose of, being able to cover from sideline to sideline, have high hands, get deflections, which in turn turn into turnovers. And so the fact that we haven't really seen it happening just yet has been, I think one of the disappointments of the first couple months of the season. But I'm hopeful that maybe they can turn that around in the last 3-4 months of the season since, being able to get deflections, force turnovers, that's not so much something that your youth and your lack of physicality prevents you from doing.
I totally agree. In fact, that was my number 2 on my wish list, because they're only averaging about 14 points off of turnovers. And that number's got to be, if they can get that number up, Ryan, and you're spot on. If they can get that number up to like over 20, that also helps them with the grinded out type games playing against veteran teams. So you want to muck it up and get some points off turnovers. And my whole thing was be aggressive on the perimeter, which they're going to, quite frankly, have to do tonight against Charlotte.
Yeah, I want you to stick with that for a little bit in terms of being aggressive on the perimeter. We were talking to the radio voice of the Hornets, Sam Farber, a little earlier on in the show, and he was talking about how LaMelo Ball completely controlled that first matchup between the Wizards and the Hornets. I brought up the point that Bilal Coulibaly was not on the floor for that first matchup. He is being listed as available for tonight. And Bilal had a lot of success against LaMelo last season when the Wizards swept the season series from Charlotte. So what do you think are sort of, not just in terms of tonight's matchup, but longer range, the keys to being a better team perimeter-wise on the defensive end?
Yeah, you got to put pressure on the ball. You can't let guys waltz into the three-point lane. And it's not easy to do because there's so many incredibly skilled guys with the basketball in the NBA that can get into the paint creatively. LaMelo Ball is one of those guys. By the way, he had 38 points, 13 rebounds, and 13 assists in that last game. And I think with someone like Bilal, and you think about it, with the length that they could put on the floor, Brian, with guys like Keyshawn, and Will Riley and Bilal. I mean, those guys are long, and that's an area that I'd like to see improve, is those, the ability to stop dribble penetration and just become more of a menace out on that perimeter.
Since I was the Grinch and stole your second part of your wish list, is there a third thing on your wish list that you'd like to talk about?
I would just like to see them continue. They're starting to get it. They're starting to understand how to close out games. And I like the fact that Brian Keefe is letting these guys kind of play through it. And now you got to add a dimension of discipline with them running half-court sets. So what I would say, given that fact, is just make the extra pass a couple more times. You'll see a lot of times. And you want to give confidence with some of these young players like Keyshawn and Bilal. Yeah, you want them, Trey Johnson, let them keep shooting. You want them to shoot, but also execution down the stretch by making one or two extra passes, I think will dramatically help this team.
All right, so I still have two more things on my wish list, and what you were just talking about, the second thing on mine sort of plays into, in terms of before you get to the extra pass, there has to be sort of the collapsing of a defense in the first place. And for me, what I've been happy with the past couple weeks is we have started to see Bub Carrington play with more confidence in terms of finding his shot and his range, but there's still one area where I want to see a spike in his aggression, and that's in terms of his putting his head down, driving to the basket, getting 2 feet in the paint to hopefully collapse the defense. Because last season, he averaged 4.3 drives per game, according to Second Spectrum tracking data. This year, it's down to 3.9 per game. Now, to only be down a fraction of a drive per game essentially means his drives are what they were last year. But I did come into the season hoping to see more than what we saw a year ago. And the good news is when he's been driving, he's been more successful this season at setting up his teammates to score. His assist percentage off drives is up 30% year over year. So that's why I want to see it happening with more frequency, because I know that organizationally the Wizards believe in, we want to have all 5 guys on the court who are capable of initiating and being the playmaker. And so sometimes it's going to be Keyshawn. Sometimes it's going to be Alex. Sometimes it's going to be Trey. It could come from anywhere. But in terms of, when you get into tighter moments, I still believe in the value of having a lead guard who can settle things down and run the show and just drive, collapse the defense and make things happen from there. I'm curious if Bub can be that person. So I want to see if he's going to be a little more aggressive driving the ball as we get into the new year.
I agree with you. I think you will see that. But I also think, your stats, Brian, are accurate. And I love it, but I think it's a little skewed because you got a guy on the floor like C.J. McCollum that he's now playing with that, can score off the bounce, that can score off the catch, that the team looks for him to score. He's averaging close to 19 points a game, and he has become, especially in the absence of Chris Middleton, that go-to guy. So I think that takes a little bit away from Bub Carrington's touches and Bub Carrington's ability to touch the paint, because I do think he is playing better, and I like him in the backcourt with C.J. McCollum.
Bub's been coming on strong, no doubt about it, towards the back half of this month of December. Glenn, the final thing on my Christmas wish list for the Wizards, it's simple. I want to see a 4-game winning streak before the season ends. Last year's group topped out at a 3-game winning streak. I thought that was valuable experience when they got it at the beginning of February, and I thought it spurred them on to better play for the next 5-6 months, or 5-6 weeks, I should say, because, there's been a lot of talk about the value of stacking days as young players learning how to stack days. And I think we've seen flashes of what that looks like from this group in terms of how their off-season training made them better players coming into the season and how they're having more success in a lot of areas of individual development on the court this season. So the next phase of that to me is seeing it translate on the team level. A 4-game winning streak is a clear sign of you are stacking days consecutively at a high level.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, given the fact that, look, they're a very different team than they were last year. Brian, they're younger. They have more young guys playing more minutes this year.
Which is hard to imagine because they were young last year.
Exactly. And I think, it gets to your point of what it's going to take to win something, to stack some of these wins in a row down the stretch. Well, you know what? The reality is they're learning. You got to be patient. It's hard to do because they're so young. Vucevic is getting minutes. Champagne's getting more minutes. Trey Johnson's minutes are increasing. He wasn't here last year. And I think at this point of the season, and Brian Keefe talked about it at the shoot-around today, this is all about not just basketball stuff, X and O stuff, player development stuff. This is taking care of their bodies, learning how to do that, learning what it is to play back-to-backs, and then come home and then get on a plane the next day to play the Charlotte Hornets, which is what the situation is right now for these young players. It's getting their rest. It's eating properly. Those aspects have to be learned. And I think that it's coming. They're getting it. I talked to Corey Kispert today. He feels it's coming as well. And it takes time, and there's no substitute for it. You got to go through it. So they are going through it, and they are learning.
It's been a better last few weeks from the Wizards. They've been more competitive, and we hope that over the next couple months, some of the things on our Christmas wish list will come true for this Wizards team. Anything on your actual Christmas wish list that you would like addressed before we sign off, Glenn?
Yeah, I've been kind of alluding to this most of the season is a signed autograph from you, Brian. Given the fact that you're doing the Go-Go's now, you seem to have. It's hard to get.
Well, see, here's the problem.
I would like to get that from you.
Here's the problem, Glenn. I was gonna sign